Hello. We're live, sort of first time. It's an impromptu thing. The other gentlemen are not available, so I thought I'd sort of drop in and try something myself, see how it's all going. Hello to everybody out there who maybe wants to pick up this later on. Yeah, it's just a one-man show. The other Skull Modelling twin will be along a little bit later. He's in Perth, different time zone. He's out having a bit of dinner and a beer, some gin dong juicy from what I understand. So a couple of comments. Tiff says, welcome on and all. Thank you for joining in, Tiff. I know she can't be part of this. She's out and about. Duke, g'day all you wonderful people. Bearded Veteran says, g'day cobbers. Athel, you're welcome. Morning, John. Beard is growing. And Ian says, hi, John, and everyone in chat. Oh, my goodness me. Good to see you, John. Isn't it always? I just got home from Sydney, quite frankly. My daughter, Jenna, was in a bit of a car accident the other day. Yeah, so she's a bit nervous about driving down the freeway again. So I took her, I went with her, escorted her. She drove, but yeah, she got a bit of confidence back, I think. So I've been in Sydney carless for a while. Jim. Good to see you, buddy. Tell you what, if you want to drop in, or if anybody wants to drop in, I'll put the link in the chat. Be my guest. That should work. Is that going to work? That should work. Tiff, afraid not. So I have no plan for this. I have got a bit of work I want to do, but I haven't really got a plan. But I plan to be here for about 2 hours or so, because that would be the normal time I'd be live anyway. Athel is saying, morning, Jimbo. That's the link. Should you want to join? I guess it's working because I've got the live button up top. And Mikey, is about time you went live, you big, beautiful wallaby whacker lol. That's obviously Welsh for gibberish. Makes no sense to me. Right, so what I'm going to be doing is just continuing with the this one. The Armour Hobby Hurricane Mark II C 48 scale. So where we are, if I change the camera over, I've painted it with a decal, a camouflage mask set the last couple of days. So yeah, all over brown first, and covered up the brown with bits of the thang, and then sprayed it green all over. So Sky Type S underneath. In fact, I'll remove that now. And I've got this is a RWF Sky band at the back there, Sky Blue, in fact. So it's got the Sky Blue. It looks white, but it's not white. I guess that would be white. Sky Blue spinner and band, according to the instructions. So that's what I've gone for. And I'll be doing the decals that come in the set. While we're doing this, I don't know if I'll finish or whatever. I have no real idea. But those things will be going on. Sorry about the glare. Well, you get the idea. Should be good. And I'm going for the second scheme in the box, which is that one there. This is Robert Stanford Tux aircraft in May 1941. So proper Battle Britain sort of stuff. Right. So I've got a little bit of water. What I usually do, you can't tell, but I've got a little tiny bit of just washing up liquid in there to help. Oh yeah, slide the decals around if I need to. But this has got you can't really tell, but it is shiny. It does have a Tamiya clear gloss on it, so hopefully I won't have too much trouble with the decal sliding. What I am feeling is these raised panel lines here are really nice. Yeah, you can see all them, but they're quite pronounced. So I actually don't know if these decals are going to settle down as much as I'd like them to into this. There's one way to find out. These are not Cartograph, but they do look very nice. There's no, as decals go, there's no real sort of clear part that's larger than the decal or anything else. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, goodness me. I've got Gary's stuff saying check the backstage. Oh my goodness me. It's Gary.
At last. How you doing, Ben?
All right. So you're free. I would have assumed that you'd be busy doing other things.
I'm doing other things, but I always have time to chat with you, mate. You know that.
Oh, that's lovely. Hello.
Lots of other things. I've got bombs to paint and a Halifax to finish.
Oh, show me that. Let's zoom in on you. Get that going. Oh wow, I do like that ripple effect there. Was that just cut out like Tamiya tape or whatnot?
Yep, cut out masking tape. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
And the cool thing is, but if you get the curve nicely drawn, of course you cut it out one and it fits the other as well, just like half a step out. It's not entirely in phase. It's in anti-phase, in fact. That's why it would be a straight line otherwise. So that's done, and the wings are sprayed as well.
Oh, very nice.
Night underneath. I've actually
it's
used.
Larry kit, is it?
It's a Matchbox kit.
The Matchbox one. Sorry,
Yeah, it's the Matchbox one. So it's big and clunky, but it'll be okay. It'll be all right.
Yes.
Not the best, but not the worst, I'm sure.
So Tiff's saying I might need a modders of my own.
You may
do. to which Mikey is quite outraged. Hey. And apparently Ian is saying that Gary just launched a competition.
A raffle, a raffle.
Oh, what's all that about? I have not watched it yet.
It's a raffle for a 1/24 scale Spitfire from FX that I have.
Oh my God.
So it's the Mark 8. And so I thought, I'm never, ever, ever going to build that because there's so much more to do. And there's some other stuff coming that I know of that I desperately need to keep decks relatively clear for, even after the two really big projects I've got. So, yeah. Hey.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone in chat. Good morning to you guys.
How are you?
I'm great, Gary. Thanks for asking. How's things in the North Wing?
Very nice, thank you. Very comfortable. Very
I've been watching your weekend posts, and you're getting yourself acclimated and eventually organized. But hey, that's how it
is. Even accompanied by the dog today.
Good old
him. Dog bed underneath my bench here. So hey, Maria's out watching a TV show being filmed.
Mm-hmm.
So
you mean in your neighborhood?
No, but we live by tube, maybe 20 minutes away from what used to be the BBC studios. It's now a privately commercial studio facility, and they film TV shows there all the time.
Okay.
And you can get audience tickets for it. And a friend of hers got audience tickets for this show, so they've gone to watch a show called Loose Women, which is like a chat show run by 4 women, and they talk about various issues, but it's all quite light-hearted. Like journalists and TV presenters, people in the forefront of the media, let's say, giving their opinions on various things. But it's a very popular show. It's been running every day, 5 days a week for, I don't know how many years, 10, 15 years or more, maybe.
Wow.
It's a very popular daytime TV show, live.
Yeah. John, you have quite a few of your your fellow Aussies tuning in. The chat is filling up with names.
Yeah, this
is traveling fast. I'm very happy to see this, and I'm glad to see you live. It's I just watched your latest review on that Edward. What was it? You posted it a couple days ago. Yes, that's it.
The backwards one.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, I'm sure I'll run into the same things whenever I get my channel started.
Well, I mean. So here, that camera is fine, but if I go to my bench cam, it's reverse image. So it threw me the first time I did. So I reversed it. Then I came back up to the head, back down to the desk, and it was back the other way again. And I just need to remember that whenever I say it backwards, I just leave it backwards.
Okay.
But most of the instructions and everything else it didn't matter which way the steps were, the alphabet or whatever. You could just sort of read it like an illustration is an illustration. So I'm not going to bother recording it. It can just stay there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I see it happen so often with others on YouTube where it's reversed and it's like, well, you know what it is. So
left
is right is left. So whatever, hey, just glad to see you out here live. I think you should do more reviews. Honestly, John, I think you got a great voice, great way of speaking. And you have a great knowledge of aviation. And
that's the key thing. It's a knowledge of I can look at a thing and say, yeah, that bit goes in there. You know what those bits actually are. Right, so that's the gear flange support plate bracket needs to fit in here. That looks like a tight fit. I need to work on that. This bit looks like I'm going to go in there. So that's the difference. And people love no fact. They love information. They love knowledgeable information about stuff.
Well, you're right. Yeah. Well, thank you for the kind words.
You were talking about what it would take to fly the airplane. A brief, a few moments of the fact that it's kind of a tough airplane to fly. It's not very forgiving. Not that you flew it yourself, but you understand the history of it.
I'm still alive.
Honestly, that really means something to me. I mean, as an aviation geek myself that likes to listen to those who have knowledge of it, talk on, brother. Talk on.
Absolutely. I'd go along with that.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. I do plan to do more of it. I mean, the deal is, I don't know. It just seemed to be, I don't know. Look, the fact is, part of the reason is that I have been live most nights with, if not Models for Heroes and Mikey and 3-4 veterans or the boys, if you like. Oh, and girls. Sorry, Tiff. And that takes up a fair bit of time. But I've got the rest of the day free and everything else. I do need to do more of it. You're right. Just because. I mean, the fact is, I was watching one of my videos back earlier today. Just came up as a recommended viewing, because I wasn't on the scale model. I wasn't on my login. I was on my actual login. My name, and it came up as recommended viewing. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll watch that back. And I'm listening to it, just going, yeah, I still agree with that. Yeah, there's not many errors there. That's okay. So that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know this from what I've heard people talk, and you two can probably attest to it having your channels. It's the editing more than the actual video making.
Well, there is no editing. It's like for me, not yet. The better looking male is a little bit cranky with that. He said, basically, you're making me look bad. You need to edit it and stuff. He's right.
Is that a deliberate plan, John, or is that just unintentional with little brotherly shove, or?
No. He wants me to improve and get a better camera and he has a plan like me. Continuous improvement, I guess, is key. But it'll get better over time. But at the moment, I've just been lazy. So I need to work on that because I don't know. I'm quite used to doing the live sessions as we are now and everything else. Haven't done much of the reviews, but I think some of them have got 5,500 views and stuff for the wooden ships and stuff. There's certainly an interest in there. Diverse. Scale model making isn't just aircraft or tanks or Warhammer. It's there's so many avenues, and you don't have to do one exclusively. Jump around if you like. Do what you want.
If I may,
I'm not reading out every comment. I'm just flicking through them if that's okay. If I don't,
that's fine. Yeah.
Acknowledge
if I may
people.
Make a suggestion. Maybe you make contact with Jason, Model Kit stuff. He does a lot of sailing ship. That's a big part of his personal modeling. And if you watch his, for me, Saturday morning post that he puts on, it's about an hour or so every weekend. Part of it is dedicated to his wooden ship or sailing ship category. Not necessarily that, but I mean, he's also building a 1-200 Scharnhorst. But I think you two are kindred spirit modelers when it comes to sailing ships and of that type. I think you two would, he was doing, God rest his soul, he was doing, I think a partner build with Peter
With Peter, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's obviously stopped
Queen
because
Mary 2.
Yeah. But anyhow, that's just a thought. I'm just kind of like voicing thoughts in my head as far as that goes, because I think you two would have a common. You got a common interest.
I think you're right. I have met him at Telford. In fact, I introduced Gary to him, just like
Oh, really?
Jason, Gary, have you met each other? And all that sort of stuff. Then sort of like dropped that bomb and buggered off somewhere back to the Epic stand and just left them to it. And they're probably punching each other out. I don't know. I didn't stick around and watch.
Nah.
But no. Jason. Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You're right. He is.
I've been watching his channel. Oh my God, he did a Lysander as one of his first builds years ago. It was the Edward one, and I was looking for Lysander builds at that time, and that popped up, and I thought, who's this guy? He's got, I think, 300 subscribers or whatever, and I've been with him since the start. Oh, Ian's in. Hello, Ian. Aussie Ian. All these familiar names from the other streams, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they tend to cross-pollinate. Now that I've been following so many channels for so long, I look in the list of people who are members of that channel, and I start recognizing more and more names.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it's like as I said, you don't have to stick with one genre. You also don't have to stick with one modeling channel, except for Gary's stuff. That's always good.
We always try our best, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I like I love what you do, Gary, especially the Matchbox. I'm looking forward to seeing those on a regular basis again. There's some about Matchbox kits. Yeah, there you go. The Halifax, excellent, excellent. Yeah, there's some about Matchbox kits that bring back for me just as much as anyone in the UK or from Australia or wherever else. They were part of my modeling youth too. My local hobby shop, we're talking the mid to late 1970s. They were stocked with foreign kit makers like Matchbox and Airfix and Heller and Fujimi and Tamiya and so on and so on. But Matchbox were some of the first 72nd scale jet aircraft. I was building World War II airplanes prior to that. And at my best friend's urging, he said, try a jet. And my first purchase was the Harrier. The Aviator. Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry.
Sonic's asking, do we talk about politics here or not, Vibe? Well, I value Jim as a friend, so I'm not going to go there.
I have nothing to say in that topic. I'm here to have fun and talk models and whatever else comes up. So it's your channel, John. Your rule. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, that's right. So Paul should be joining us a little bit later. I told him no pressure. Like as I said, he's in Perth with work. He's out at dinner having a beer, and I just said, I'll stick around, have a couple more beers, take your time. If he doesn't show up, I won't be upset. I didn't think anyone would be showing up here. I've got 16 people watching it. I haven't been here 20 minutes. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's I'll tell you, it's part of the it's part of the family. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, talk about part of the family.
Hey,
there he is.
Greetings.
Hello, gentlemen.
How you doing, dude?
It's John. Pissed myself laughing, he says. And then a smackdown from Tiff. Yeah. So, how was dinner? What did you have?
Oh, mate, it was good. I had the grilled snapper. It was done in like a coconut curry sauce. Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
And a pint of my favourite Aussie beer. So yes.
Jindong Juicy, is that correct?
Jindong Juicy, which doesn't sound very Aussie, but trust me, it is. It's a suburb of Perth, is Jindong.
Oh, excellent. Well, we're going to be visiting Perth or Fremantle, and I guess Perth in a couple of years' time. It's the end point of a cruise we're going on from Singapore to there, and so I said to Maria, we can't just arrive in Perth and then go to the airport and come home. I mean, that's just stupid. So I'm negotiating at least 2 days so far. I'm going to hopefully negotiate that up to 3 days. There's an island there with some really weird little animals.
Rottnest Island.
Yeah, but they do a tour there by a little Cessna flying boat. Rather than a ferry, you can get a little flying boat over there and spend the day there. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I am definitely
it looks beautiful. That.
They did
a little tiny half rat, half what's a marsupial, but don't play quokka soccer. They don't like it.
No,
they don't like it.
Unlike some YouTubers, I have a lot of respect for wildlife, and that I just leave them alone, let them do their thing, and they'll be happy. They'll be fine.
Yeah. Fremantle itself is it's a beautiful place. So it was originally a penal colony. So the prison is still there, close to the waterfront. But they've got some really good breweries there, microbreweries. Well, not so much micro anymore, but Little Creatures Brewery is there, and that's one of the best, my favourite beers on the planet. I think that and Rogers, they make both of them.
Wow. Excellent.
So yeah, there'd be other ones as well. What have we got there?
You can see that.
Quokka. So you took this video, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, so bring it up again.
Just before I kicked the little bastard.
So
this is a different video. Hang on.
No.
Delicious, they are. Delicious.
Yeah. They're very cute, aren't they? And like all good food, they come with their own toothpicks.
Yeah.
So what I learned was Rottnest Island got its name because Afrikaan, a rat's nest.
Oh, right.
And it's because of the quokkas. They thought they were big rats.
Yeah. So rats.
And here's another fact: when John was rat's nest here. When John was a scout leader a while ago, his scout name was Quokka.
It was.
Oh wow!
Fun fact.
Because that guy was Bob, as in Bob Marley, and and that was fine when I was in states other than Victoria. When I moved to Victoria, of course, we couldn't have two Bobs. We were in different regions, like organisation regions, but in the same Scouts Victoria, so we couldn't have two Bob Marleys. Just confuse the kid. We did anyway, but I changed my name to Quokka just to be. I wanted something small, annoying, and no, I just wanted something that wasn't just a standard. So Cubs do or tended to do Jungle Book and Rudyard Kipling, Jungle Book, and they don't do it anymore, do they? Is that right, Paul? I don't know. Maybe he's frozen.
Yeah, he looks like he's in a moment of pondering.
So I could do that. Is it better with a beard or without a beard?
Yeah. So anyway, we want to spend a few days there. Experience the Fremantle Doctor in the afternoon that I've heard so much about at the watching cricket games at the Wacker. There's when the Fremantle Doctor comes in the afternoon and all this.
Yeah.
It changes. So.
Admittedly, there's not many places in Australia where it is like one of the largest coastlines in the world. But yeah, you have to. Most people live on this side, so it's not often you see a sunset over the water. It's really only in Perth, being the major city, and then Broome, a couple of other places up the coast. But Cottesloe Beach is absolutely glorious over there. It is paradise. It's a really nice place. Adelaide, you can also see the sunset on the water because they're next to Gulf St Vincent, which is let's call it the arse crack of Australia. Just a bit of water, it goes up the middle there, and the water looks like you can't see the other side of it, so it looks like the water sort of settles down over there. Scott's in.
Hey, Scott! Happy days to you in Tasmania.
Oh, he reminds me, of course, Tasmania has a west coast as well that you can see the sunset over the water, like places like Strahan and all that sort of stuff down there. Yeah, beautiful island, it really is. Oh, and Athel saying, "G'day, Scott." In fact, Scott, I think you just sent me a Facebook friend request. I just acknowledged that.
You might want to talk to him about that. He mentioned something in the Discord about his account being hacked.
Yeah, but I think this is genuine. I looked at his friends and you're there, so I thought Oh no, you're not there. No, other people are. So Jeff and a couple.
Yeah, I ditched Facebook back in 2019.
Yeah, good idea. I don't think you're missing much at all.
Yeah. Anyhow, So what are you working on, John? What are you?
I'm doing
in front of you.
Yeah, I've got the Armor Hobby Hurricane 2.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You were talking about that before you posted the link. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Admittedly, like I thought I'd be able to crack on and look up occasionally and go, yep, still no one there. But that's all right. Oh, he's back. He might freeze again. Let's have a look. You took the headphones off. You're about to disappear and get another Gin Dong Juicy, were you?
Oh, I could. So I'm just ringing to apologise. I'm just on a hotel Wi-Fi and I don't think it's going to work. So
okay.
Yeah, Jim, good to see you. Gary, good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
John, thanks for.
Well, my chopped liver. Oh, okay. It's good to hear.
But
thanks for dropping in.
I don't think it's going to work for any more than this. So
okay,
yeah, gentlemen.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
See you guys. Bye.
Spirit. Yeah. So there we go. I didn't have to hit that remove button, so that's all right. Yeah. So okay, what are you doing there, Jim? What's on your bench?
Let's see. Oh, I posted pics of this. Started this last night. The new TACOM kit.
Nice.
And this is one table. My table over that way is got the Spitfire, the Harrier, the P1127, and a couple other projects that I kind of move one from the other to the center of it, and that's what I'm working on. And right now I'm masking off the glass for the Spitfire, the M4H 48 weekend. It's still going, but I got to mask the glass, and frankly, I'm not having too good of a go of it. You got to, like anything else, you got to do it often to stay in practice. And
yeah,
I don't know, but I'm clumsy about it. Cut my finger really bad, punctured it with a knife, a brand new X-Acto blade because it slipped off the glass and right into my tip of my finger. No biggie. Got some super glue on there. It's healing, but it's a deep cut. I mean, it just kept bleeding, so that's why I had to put the super glue on there. Anyway, it's gosh, I mean, I've masked plenty of glass, because I don't want to buy a mask set every time I buy a model.
Yeah.
And I know newer kits it's becoming more and more standard, but this is a 1993 Tamiya kit, so you don't expect it. So I'm doing the old tape method, and like I said, I feel so all thumbs about it, and I thought it'd be going a little better than it is. So I just finished one part. And when I decided I was going to go live, I was like, don't work on that because you'll fill the cuss jar with dollar bills for the whole show. I'm working on the I don't know how you pronounce it. I think with German EI is Greif, not grief. I used to call it grief when I was a kid because that's the name that was painted on the side of the vehicle. In fact, I found this book at a swap meet, I think, for like a couple of bucks, and in it is some photos of Herr General Deutscher Afrika Korps in his vehicle. So they're nice close-ups, and it'll help as I build the model. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. The great thing about armor kits is there's a lot of repetitive assembly sequences.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of get yourself, it's kind of therapeutic. You get into a routine of cutting apart, cleaning, and assembling suspension parts. And you can make progress that way. And then, you move on to more, the other stuff. But that's what I'm doing right now.
Cool.
Very good. Very good. So I'm just, so Scott's saying that Gary has a video about masking, Jim, if you're interested.
Do I?
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back to masking 101. I mean, like I said, you can forget these things when you don't do them often enough. And masking off glass is not something that I do very often.
Mm-hmm. So let's throw that in. So, question for Gary from Mike on the screen there. 3rd of April.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so yeah, as I said, these are not Cartograph decals. I guess they're going to work well. Printed by Techmod, I think it says.
Yes, if it's Arma, yeah, they use Techmod. I think they're a Polish firm. I've used their decals; they're pretty good.
Yeah, they look very usable, if that makes sense.
No, I understand what you mean. You know, there's a common, at least I'm learning a hard lesson, is that just because you order an aftermarket sheet of decals, so you spend 10, 12, 15, even $20 American on something, it doesn't mean they're going to be of the best quality or that they were made, you know, good enough or thin enough to work. And I found that out. Now, this is not the norm. It's you know, one in 100. You know, let's put it that way. I certainly don't want to cast aspersions on aftermarket decal manufacturers, but they're not the panacea I turn to them to be. You know, it's like, oh, this Tamiya kid, these thick decals. I know what I'll do. I'll order a decal set, and voila, problem solved. But not all the time. Not all the time. But Techmod, yeah, they're from what I've heard and my experience with them is that they're good.
Oh, I could just imagine Mikey is grinning like a Cheshire cat at the moment. Gary has a video about masking, Jim. Is that on Gary's Stuff After Dark channel?
After dark. Well, now he can wisecrack from the peanut gallery.
Oh no, it's like, you know, it's like usually I'm trying to end his channel from the inside through. Now it's his turn. So, you know, bring it on. So, sorry, always down for a moment while I'm doing this decal here. So far, so good.
By the way, Gary, bravo to you for doing a Halifax. I know it's it just doesn't get enough love in the modeling world or even in the popular aviation history world. Yet it was even more of a serviceable aircraft than a Lancaster. In other words, it did more. It performed in different roles outside of that of strategic bomber, just like the B-24.
Yeah, exactly.
Every conversation I have with Dale at Airfix mentions at some point, basically, for goodness sakes, man, make a bleeding Halifax. Release a Halifax. Release a series of them. A new tool, because you have to. You just have to let Italy beat you to it like they did with Sterling.
Well, not only that, but Hobby Boss, or was it Trumpeter, the Fomar, and the what's the one the Battle.
Battle, Battle.
Yeah, I mean, Airfix is the modeling company of the UK. You know what I mean? And they have such a following. I really believe this worldwide, not just within Western Europe and the UK. If they build it, people will buy it.
Oh yeah.
Look at that Lysander. I mean, I can't wait to get my hands on one myself. And I've got plenty of models to build. And the last thing I need is another model in my stash to build. But I've been waiting for a good Lysander in quarter scale, and they deliver. Yeah. And when Airfix, the current Airfix iteration we've got with Dale and everyone there, when they set to work on a project, especially a British project, I have total confidence it's going to be spot on. Whereas with Trumpeter, I don't know what it is with them. Maybe they're just going off drawings or what they can find on the internet. But it seems like they want to make a nice model, but they seem to be a little bit hit and miss, particularly when it comes to British subject, particularly aviation.
Yeah, you're right.
I think, like they don't always get it right, but I'll just keep buying them anyway. I think they are my favorite model company. The fact is, like, I'm a huge fan of ICM. The ones I built have been glorious.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Except for the Spitfire, where all I did is remove the rocket covers, and it was like just a standard Spitfire kit. There's no problems at all. Eduard, of course, I'm a big fan of. Airfix is certainly up there because I've always loved British aviation. It's in a way, I've said before on the channel, Facebook and everything else. It was a book on the Battle of Britain that got me into aviation in the first place, and I guess it's all the subject matter that they tend to do that. If not the British aircraft, then other ones as well. Like, it's taken forever for another company to come out with a Dornier 17, and it was ICM that did it, and Eduard released it, and it's a glorious kit. I really, really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, so, yeah. ICM has earned their acclaim. They have worked really hard. And you consider the situation that they're in, and they're turning out models of the quality they offer at the price they offer too. Mind you, you're not. There's another Ukrainian model maker, Clearprop, and they make some outstanding aircraft, but they're $60 American for the most recent their new 72nd scale F-86 Sabre. It's somewhere in the $50 to $60 range American. I'm sorry, but that's not tenable for me on a regular basis.
So I don't know if anybody saw it or missed it or whatever, but Mikey tuned in to the 48 live stream when he was a little bit drunk, because he'd been sitting up drinking with Dave, and it was quite hilarious. In fact, he instead of saying the youngest, he said the tungest. So remember, John, Mikey is a tungest, and Mikey comes back with at Duke. Speaking of which, my tongue is no longer numb, just my lip to go now. So he went to the dentist earlier, and I hope you weren't in too much pain, mate. Just
what did they have to do, Mikey? Did they have to pull any teeth or root canal or what happened, or fillings? None of the above is a pleasant experience.
No. Ian saying tongue that like button. Mikey's replied French tongue or normal tongue. French tongue or normal tongue, Ian, haha, and then he corrects himself because he's slurring his speech, so he can't type properly. Oh, 3 fillings.
Ooh. The needles into the gums. Oh boy.
The one in the back, in between the top and bottom jaw. Oh, I hate that one.
God. Yeah, it's always the second one. You get the first pierce and it's like, okay, then the second one comes in, and that's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. 13. So yeah, having had dental work recently myself, it's a very recent experience, so it's not something I enjoy.
Well, it's not. Yeah, that's why I think that one of my favorite films, of course, is Little Shop of Horrors with Steve Martin playing the dentist.
Yes,
so good at that role.
Did you ever see the original with Jack Nicholson?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it was his first movie.
Yes. Everybody has a start, and I guess that's where you can start with Jack Nicholson. So
Mikey had a walletectomy, according to Duke. Yeah, without buying model kits for once. And plus I saw Little Shop of Horrors live on stage, and it's a different ending.
Right. They turned it into a musical. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Who was that? Rick Moranis?
It was. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. One of the
Seymour Krelborn. Yeah. So that's hilarious, and Frank Oz directed it. It's just it's a cracking movie. Music.
I've never seen a live play. Never been to one.
No.
Nope. Plenty of places in Chicago to see one in a very excellent environment. A couple of places, I forget the name of them, but been around a long time, and a lot of great.
Paradise Theater.
I can't recall. I think the Schubert. I don't know. There's no one in the chat that lives in Chicago would help me out with this. It's been so long since I've been in this.
You're on your own, buddy.
City. Yeah. So can't recall what it is, but no, there's. The thing is that there's plenty to do in the city, and so when one thing ends, something else is there to do. And for all its cons, Chicago offers a lot of pros too.
Yeah.
I've been a lifelong resident of the city. You kind of earn a title to be able to make cynical jokes about it, and even some wisecracks. Like vote early, vote often, stuff like that. Jokes about the late Mayor Daley, all kinds of stuff.
Every day they have a new joke about him.
Does that have to do with the name, or am I missing the joke there?
Well, it's the name.
Okay, yeah. Because
is that his name? Is his name?
Yes.
Daley?
Well, you had 2 Mayor Daleys. You had Richard J., which is the original. He was mayor from 1955 to 1976, and if he hadn't died in office, he'd probably still be mayor right now. I mean, he wasn't going anywhere. And then his son Richard M. Daley was mayor for about 20 years.
So yeah, Mikey is saying, Duke, I'm fortunate enough to be one of the few people in Wales that actually has an NHS dentist, so my wallet is safe.
Good.
Nice.
Because I'll tell you what, with my insurance, any dental work outside of cleanings and x-rays is like I cover over 80%. So the tooth I had pulled last month was just about all mine. I got maybe about $25, $30 insurance kick in. So dental insurance is not very good for private citizens in the United States.
No, it must be prohibitively expensive because when I was there for the Lockheed course for the Hercs in Atlanta, they were saying here's the thing to show a doctor if you need to go to a doctor, but what they were saying is, for God's sake, don't have to go to a dentist. Like, careful what you eat in restaurants and stuff, because we can't. This is the Australian government can't afford you to go to a dentist here.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well,
we're just like, wow.
Us American citizens are kind of in the same position. So
yeah. So just rubbing down the stick.
One time I was in California. I was at a conference on my own, and I had a tooth cracked.
Oh.
Okay. So I went to just looked up in the booklet, the hotel book, doctor nearby, Anaheim it was, and went to one guy, and they said, "Oh no, we can take it out, but we don't do anesthesia. We don't do general anesthesia. We do just local." I thought that, look, I'm a lot bigger than you are, dude. The only way this tooth is coming out with me conscious is with you being unconscious, Frank. And much as I like you, much as you're probably a nice person, ain't going to happen. I do not like dentists. Found this other guy, and he said, "Yep, I can do that. I can give you IV sedation. You'll be perfectly awake, but you won't care what I'm doing, and you won't remember when you wake up anyway, because it's basically a massive dose of Valium." I said, "Get it in there right away." Or he said, "I can leave the tooth, and you're going to be shouting in pain all the way home to the UK, because once you get in that low pressure, it's for instance." No, do it. And he said, "Right, so if you can just tell your escort to be here with you at 11 in the morning." I said, "Escort? Dude, I'm 5,500 miles from my house.
Yeah.
I ain't got an escort." He said, "Okay, tell you what, let's make it 12:30. Then I can take you back to your hotel during my lunchtime."
Oh, that's all right.
Wow. So he's a really nice guy.
Gave me a big pack of liquid foods, those little packets of high energy milky drink things.
Right.
You won't want to do for 2 or 3 days. So here's lunch and dinner for the next few days. And took me to the concierge and said, "Please escort Mr. Evans to his room. He's just had a dental surgery." They both took me to my room, put me in there. And that was all included. When I got home, the bill was £400.
That's not much at all. That's
good.
Not much at all.
That's
yeah, I know. That's
incredible.
Current rate of exchange, I don't know. That's I think 350 American. I mean, not 350. 500 American bucks, maybe 550. I don't know, but still, that is
400 American. Is that just for the drive home, though?
No, that's for everything, man.
Including everything.
Yeah, that's one hell of a deal. That's one humanitarian.
Absolutely. Although, what a nice guy, just to say, "Well, okay, understand your situation. I'll take you home during my lunch break."
So Joe is in from somewhere else in the States. I think he's down Mississippi. I cannot remember whether it's Missouri or whatever, but he's saying, "Good morning. Wow, talk about funny. I'm taking my wife to the dentist in an hour."
Oh, funny for you.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. But yeah. There you go. Remind me where you are, Joe. There's a lot of names.
Yeah, where are you living, Joe? I know you're in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm not sure. Are you in Canada or are you in the United States?
So Aussie Ian has been to a few theatres in Chicago where I lived in Wisconsin. I saw Dame Edna and Wicked at the theatre near Fields, now Macy's. I can't remember any of the theatre names.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Ian married an American lady. And,
okay. Now, where in Wisconsin were you living, Ian?
all of it. Lots of different places. Behind, there's a wheelie bin under. There's an overpass near the freeway. Second wheelie bin on the right.
Yeah.
I don't know. He'll probably come back and say, "How did I know?"
Well, if he gives me a town name, I got an idea where he would be.
Yeah.
The other thing, Jim, in Chicago.
Oh, there we go. He's from Madison.
Oh, state capital. There you go. That's about 2.5 hours away.
Actually, I should say it like an American. Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Because you can't not put the state name after a city. But, even New York, New York.
Right. Well, we don't identify by county here in the States. Like if I was to ask, someone in UK where they live, they're in Cheshire, they're in Somerset, they're in Kent. Whereas we would say, well, I'm in Chicago or Oswego, the little town I live in now, and so on. So. Oh, X is from Rockford. Okay. All right. Yeah. Rockford in Illinois, about 90 miles away from, well, not 90, about 50 from where I'm at now. 90 if I was in Chicago.
And, so Joe's near Picayune?
That's I think that's a Cajun name. Picayune,
Missouri?
Mississippi. That's
Mississippi is MS. Okay.
Yeah, there's a joke for you. What's got 4 eyes but still can't see?
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
So I mean, you could understand. I'm not. I'm fairly good with geography and what's where and everything else, but there's so much to the United States that I don't know all of it. I know enough.
Well, from when I was a kid, one of the classes I excelled at, 2 of the classes were history and geography. And so from a young age, I was reading maps. That's part of what got me into scale modeling, was reading books about the Second World War. And in those books were maps. And so I got to know places like Kent in Great Britain during the Battle of, and they called it Great Britain back then, not the UK. That's how I used to read it in text in books. It was Great Britain. And so anyway, long story boring. That's was part of one of the steps that got me into scale modeling. That and films like the Battle of Britain and Tora, and Sink the Bismarck. I saw all the models in there, and I said, "Wow, I want some of those." So
yeah, they look good. Yeah, no, it's a cracking hobby.
So Joe's originally from South Texas, Rio Grande Valley, near the Tex-Mex border. Okay, all right,
really
deep in the heart of.
Nice.
Going down the Mississippi next year, I think it is. Is it next year? Yeah, next year.
Oh, really?
What are you from?
You're taking a river tour?
Yeah. We're going from Memphis to New Orleans next year.
Oh, wow, nice. That was the most fought over part of the Mississippi River during the American Civil War. You're probably going to go by a lot of battles.
Plenty of battlefields for me to visit on the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're starting off in Washington, and then we're sort of going to North Carolina, see some family. I want to go to Kitty Hawk as well.
Oh,
right.
Why not?
And then we go to North Carolina, where Maria's got some family. Then we go to Nashville and Memphis, then down the river to New Orleans. So it's quite a
nice. Nice.
Yeah. I've been to Nashville. I've been to Memphis. Went to Graceland, as you do.
Yep.
Yeah. But not much else there. Did go to Beale Street.
Federal Express headquarters is based in Memphis, Tennessee. So if you send a package via FedEx anywhere in the United States, I don't know about globally, but anywhere in the United States, it will go to Fed. I believe, now someone can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I believe it goes to Memphis and then distributes from there. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. That may have been their old system. They may have modified it since, but
the sad thing is, Jim, I'm really hoping they do, and that they do public tours, because I'm fascinated by that sort of stuff. Maria would be bored senseless by it. But then she wants me to go to Dollywood in Nashville, so
Oh my God, Dollywood! Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Julian's in. Hello, all.
Hey, Julian. How are you, mate? Good to see you. See, John, if you post it, they will come.
Yeah, that's funny. That's exactly what Bron said earlier before I did this. I said, I think I'll just go live for the challenge, and she literally said, like, if you go live, they will come. And I thought, well, I was just going to do some modelling anyway. Because I mentioned at the start of it, I've been away from the bench for 2 days looking after the daughter. She had a car accident. So she's perfectly fine, but her car is not so good.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. As long as she's okay, that's what counts. You can get another car.
Yeah. So, well, this is the panel image, as you can see there. It's
whoa!
A Polo. It was a Polo. Yeah, hit by a four-wheeler over the bull bar, as you could tell. But yeah, she's on the freeway doing 110, and yeah, this car just came up from behind. Julian saying, "Evening, John. Afternoon, Gary. Morning, Jim."
You got all the time zones covered, Julian. That's very good. That's very good.
Well played.
Yes.
Yeah. This is, again, it's amazing. I think that I could just do this, and then I get literally people from the UK, we're covering all quarters, all parts of the world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah, Duke is saying not Surge. No, it's not Surge. Surge is the other car she used to have, is a Honda Jazz. This one is she wanted this car. She looked it up. She paid for it herself. She did everything, research it and stuff. So, no. So Surge is sitting at the front now.
Excuse me.
But it's dark. I can't show you it. But she's been given a hire car until it's fully insured and everything. She's been given a hire car until it's resolved, but they find out whether it's going to be written off or some such. But we'll see. But no, Surge is alive and well, and Tom is driving that now. But it's due for, I believe, it's due for registration renewal next month, and I think he's looking around for a replacement. I think. He just, as you said, he's got the money. He might want to upgrade and get something with, Surge doesn't have cruise control or much else. Just got CDs. Not, he just wants a newer car.
Well, there was a time when cars just got you to A and B and didn't have so many bells and whistles. And I like them. They're neat, but when they're not engineered properly and they start giving you trouble and you got to take it to the dealership because the computer runs all of this stuff and it has to be reset or something has to be taken out and added in. That's what annoys me about it. So I've been having that problem with my Subaru, which is a really nice vehicle. And I'm going to keep it. I'm married to the damn thing. I'm not in any position to buy a new vehicle right now. But anyway, it's got a lot of those features, and one of them went out one time, and thank goodness it was under warranty. But it was there's a control in there that directs the headlights. When you turn, the lights turn with you.
Sure.
Well, that thing went bluey, and my dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree, and all that stuff has to be reset. So, it's not like you can pop the hood and find it and fix it, and it's back to the normal. So thank goodness I had that covered, because that's a service call, and that's labor time, and that's everything else that's got to be done. So,
sure.
I would just appreciate it if manufacturers could better engineer their the features on cars, because I don't know what it's like in the UK or in Australia, but no matter what manufacturer you buy from, you'll eventually get a recall notice about something.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, just the way of things. I mean, you used to be able to fix any Australian car with, I think, 3 spanners and 2 screwdrivers. But now, I'll pop up on it. I don't know what I'm looking at anymore. That's the way of things.
Yeah. Oh, I can understand that, John, and I'm perfectly willing to accept it. I'm just saying, help the consumer out and build some integrity into this stuff, that it doesn't happen within the first 50,000 miles of the vehicle.
Yeah. So just make sure I got the right decal here, which I do. Yeah, these are going down rather well.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're putting them on. Okay. How are they performing? Do they come off the paper easy?
They do. There's no struggle with that at all.
Right. Okay.
So far, it's looking like there's no. Silvering. So
excellent.
Quite all right.
Excellent.
It's certainly looking like a Hurricane. Usual thing. I prefer a clean build. I do plan to. I need to do a bit more weathering and make one look like it's been out in the sun for years and stuff. That's what I'm planning to with the next build. Oh, crikey! So Pitskits is in. Kieran is saying hi, afternoon. Sorry I'm late. And Mikey's, weren't Australian cars built with wood and metal tyres though, John? That's racist. No. No. We we invented certain things. The Ute is one of them, or the pickup. But yeah, we don't make any cars in Australia anymore. Just the way of things. Price ourselves out of the market. I think I might. So 19. I have a choice of kill markings. I think I might go for a slightly larger one because it adds a bit of colour.
So is that a Mark II C? Is that with the 20mm cannon?
2C, yeah, with for 20mm cannon and a metal wing. Yeah.
Yeah. Hobby Boss is supposed to release a 48 scale Mark II D with the 40mm cannon under the wing, the tin openers, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, because Phil Flory built the first iteration of that Hobby Boss kit last year or 2023, and for a basic model, it's pretty good. They even give you a mask set and some photo etch. The model built well, and so from that, I'm sure they're gonna know what they're basing everything else off of. So when they release that 40mm version, I'm grabbing one because that's the one I've always wanted.
Yeah, well, it does sound good.
Wait a minute, what am I looking for?
So I'm going to. We've got some news today. I don't think James would be too upset if I mention this. Sorry, just give me a sec. Just lining this up. So we had a thing today. So one of the subscribers for another channel, a friend of our channels, if you like, so Three Veterans, Black Hat, Skull Modeling. So Stu up in Brisbane, one of his subscribers on his channel has incredibly, very kindly donated to Models for Heroes an extra £2,500, 5,000 Australian dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that yesterday during that live thing that they posted with James, and they were showing people's finished work.
Yeah.
Weekend, and it was at the end that James had made that announcement. Yeah, very generous. That was Black Hat?
No, a subscriber to his channel.
Oh, okay.
One of his members.
Yeah. Wow.
Who remains anonymous, but it's a very generous donation, and of course, like that will definitely go to help, veterans. And the reason why we do this, all this stuff, is for people that are struggling that may not have built a model before, but this, as you know, it's a great hobby and a real mindfulness exercise. Julian quite rightly is saying, "Wow, very generous." And I've got Hagrid has popped in. Can't join for long. Busy times at work, but lubed and subscribed. Very good. Thank you, Dita. Great to see
everybody like and subscribe, man. John's got some good stuff on there, and looking forward to more content, Mr. Marley.
Oh, that's nice. Hey. How's everyone doing? Enjoy the build and a big hug of the modeling princess Nia. Wonderful. This is cool. As I've said, live for an hour already.
Yep. If I may propose an idea, at least create some food for thought. Is maybe I don't. Well, see, this is where I don't understand the workings of YouTube, so I may be speaking out of turn. But you and Paul could have a chat between you two.
Yes.
Kind of like what Malcolm and James do.
Yeah, no, you're right. We'd like to, in fact, but
we
talk about modeling all the time.
Yeah, don't you have to have a certain amount of something to qualify for live chat? I mean, could someone else help me out with that?
Yeah, you do. I think you need to have 50 subscribers.
I've
met that, so he can join my stream and everything else. He is busy with work, is the main reason he doesn't. But rest assured that whenever we talk, which is every couple of days, modeling always comes up, and we do it all the time anyway.
Thing. That would be wonderful. I'd tune in. I love that kind of stuff. It's spontaneous. It's live. I mean, I like that stuff.
Yeah, well, I must admit, initially exactly what I had planned for this channel anyway is just doing that, talking off the cuff. But as I say, he does travel a lot for work, and maybe 3 weeks he's away for either 2 weeks or 1 week at a time, and generally either in Perth or I'm lining up a decal here. Perth or Brisbane. He's a technical training officer, so he runs around doing lots of courses.
Excuse me. I'll be right back, guys. Pardon me.
Just make sure that's lined up there. Sorry, I'm eyes down for a moment.
Okay. No problem, mate.
I haven't got around to watching Monday Matters yet, but rest assured, I do every week anyway.
No worries.
I must say that Qatari announcement for the Ragwing Hurricane looks beautiful.
Yeah, those guys don't miss a trick. I mean, I'm not a 32nd scale aircraft modeler, but I can admire good work when I see it. And a friend, my best mate, he's got 2 of those Spitfires, those Qatari Spitfires upstairs.
Yeah.
Going through them is, it's wings all over again. Quality is outstanding. 10-7.
Another thing that's popped up. This is. Sorry, I'm looking for the chat here. Oh, here we go. With further news out of Auckland, New Zealand, with Callum, who was one of the Australian hosts on the Models for Heroes live stream.
Yeah.
What he's saying is, there we go. Good news. We've got 2 new companies donated to the New Zealand Australia auctions for next year for the Models for Heroes 48 and 48. Mark, the owner of Qatari, has promised a kit, hopefully the upcoming Hawker Hurricane Mark 1 early. That comes out from the horse's mouth. He's in my model club. Also, Constellation Hobbies in Auckland. Another guy in my club works there part-time, is best friends with the owner. So he watched the streams and afterwards said that they want to look at getting involved. Isn't that incredible?
Nice.
Excellent.
Plus, in a month or so, there's a model show in Hamilton, 1.5 hours south of Auckland. They have 2 stores selling there, with one big one being brand new. I'll definitely try to get their ear if they're in the show again this year. So it's bigger and better every year. It's amazing. So. Oh, there we go. So Julian's saying technical training officer. So you're not identical twins then, John. He's the one with the perpetual "oh, for fuck's sake" expression. Lol. Actually, no. Like so he's into hydraulics, but not the aircraft type. He's into the mining companies, and he works for a multinational company, and he's actually probably the only technical training officer in that field in Australia. So he's very well respected, which is nothing like me at all. Mikey is saying, nice work, Callum. Yes, it is. So imagine that.
I was looking the other day on Facebook, one of the guys, it may have been Simon John, who's behind the Matchbox Challenge that I do. He was saying that he'd got in touch with Qatari and said, is there any chance of maybe in your Ragwing doing one of Paddy Hemingway's planes?
Yes.
About the British veteran who sadly died very recently, the last of the few. And apparently got a really positive response backwards. Basically, I think the idea is you provide some
gives the
documents for it, some images or whatever, and why not? And what great people just sort of think, okay, well, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think the fact is they're all as avid modelers as we are. So to have the ability to do what they've done, I mean, the first kit that they bring out is generally considered to be one of the finest kits ever produced. That's a very cool thing to do, isn't it?
Absolutely.
There is.
So, I had heard some criticism of that kit. Oh, it doesn't have an engine, but people are going to complain regardless what you throw at them.
Well, there you go, John. You just hit it on the head. There's going to be something that someone is not going to be satisfied with, and you want to voice it. That's fine, but duly noted. But it's still an outstanding model.
Oh, yeah. Having built it, yes. It was one of the most enjoyable builds I've done.
I'm sorry, I forgot about it. See, that's why you got to get your content out more often, John. And I know that.
Get my condoms out more often.
Yeah, I knew it. First tongue slip up, and okay, that's all right.
So
okay, that should be. I checked earlier, and it should be. I'll do something about that in a minute when I can.
Yeah, wonderful.
Look at this.
Oh, the Miles M52.
Miles M52.
Yeah.
Look at those wings.
Wow. That is Thunderbirds all over to me.
That was born to go supersonic. Look at that wing form. Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, okay. I've got to get me one of them. That looks perfect.
They didn't
go for painting is in this with maybe it's a gloved hand having a wave. Certainly a pink hand. Not a black hand, so it's not Peter Oxley.
Yeah.
Where are we? Oh, so
I'm very kind of nervous of using emojis now because there was a truly outstanding bit of television on recently called Adolescence. It's on Netflix.
Okay, I saw that today. I saw the thumbnail for it.
It is one of the best things I've ever seen on telly. It's so powerful and so beautifully done. Each episode is done in a single take.
Oh.
And there are bits where, and I've studied photography, I can't see how they've got the joins, the continuity there's a bit where, for example, you might be in a car chatting, people might be talking in a car, and then the camera comes out the window and pans back, and then it's a drone shot over a car park. I think that's impossible to do. You can't have a drone inside a cab of a car, come out the window and go up there. Amazing. But the drama of it, the writing is superb. The acting is phenomenal. But there's a lot of talk about how emojis are used by adolescents to convey particular points of view, like the whole incel thing and stuff like that. So I'm really scared of using anything other than a basic generic thumbs up and a smiley face anymore, because I don't know what subliminal message you can be putting over. It's really scary stuff.
Well,
yeah, look, I'm not up with the now speak of the youth of today. I can't pretend that I'm young anymore. I feel young, but I certainly don't look it. In fact, I was asked today if I was like an organ donor by my sister-in-law, and yes, I am. But so at the moment, what have you got listed? And I said, well, all of it. But I said, like at the moment, there might be like there's many like Santas. We're coming up to Christmas in like 10 months or so. There's lots of Santas could do with a new beard. So we'll see what happens there. Mikey's saying, "Ooh, John, did you just make a catty comment?" No. And a big hello to Peter Oxley and all that sort of stuff. And no, as we were discussing the other day, Mikey, no, I didn't. It's all good.
I was going to say, Gary, when it comes to those emojis and wondering how they're, I think it might depend on who you're communicating with. If you're talking with someone from your age group, I think it's going to be okay. I know what you mean, though. For instance, there was on the local talk radio station, it was something done. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was a study or a survey of college age people. And if you put a period at the end of a text message, it's considered in bad taste.
Yeah, quite aggressive.
Because it's like, all right, you're putting your fist down. It's like, I'm speaking. It's like, no. A period to me is proper punctuation.
Yeah, end of argument.
Yeah.
I think it's
something like that. Yeah.
Opinion, no argument. End of story. Like, no, as you say.
I'm
a sentence, not end of story. Did you learn nothing at school today?
Yeah, I got myself in trouble with a couple friends of mine, and they're my age. This is not just the youth of today stuff. A guy sent me a message, and his reply was the letter K. And I put a question mark, and he responded back, meaning okay. And I was like, and then this is where I got myself in a little bit of hot water, but I didn't care. Yeah, I said, how much more energy would it take to add the letter O?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, and he didn't reply, so I don't think it was taken too well. So.
Or maybe he's still pacing up and down, like trying to decide what to type. Types a reply.
Well, that was about 5 years ago.
Walked around.
Yeah, it was about 5-6 years ago. So I don't know.
Oh, so
I'm not one of those that's going to type out "see you later."
No.
Joe's heading off, taking his wife to the dentist.
Thanks for
best of luck
to the missus, Joe. Hope it all goes well.
Go for it, saying don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you very much, Joe. And Ian is saying, see ya, Joe. SMH, it says Ian. Sydney Morning Herald. I'm not even sure what that means. Sydney Morning Herald. Those decals are going down rather well.
Excellent.
Lovely. So this is the first 48 scale hurricane I've ever done.
Really?
And, this might be the definitive one for me. I might not have to build another one after this, but I have done a lot of Spitfires lately. You never know.
Have enough Hurricanes. You can't have enough Hurricanes. I'm telling you, that aircraft was everywhere.
Well, yeah. Tell people of Florida that they won't believe you.
Well, that's their problem.
And a big shout out to all our friends in Florida.
Yeah, Crazy Locha.
Crazy Locha.
That's right. Fine body of man, Crazy Locha. Or is it Locha? Did he ever tell you how that CH is pronounced?
Locha.
Yeah, it's a
Locha. Okay, very good. I'll remember that. So, want to pay respect to the man.
What do you say? The Creek language? Yeah.
Cree.
For
Cree Indian. For turtle.
Yeah, Cree. Yeah.
So that's his native name, apparently.
But he had quite rightly a lot of shout outs from around the world from people during the 48 and 48. He's a very generous man, and it's like everybody on this chat. Actually, I must admit, it's a really good crowd to hang around.
Yeah,
that's why I wanted to go live. I literally, I was missing this. I hadn't been at the model bench for a couple of days. The better-looking Marley is when people attend our training, most of them sign in on a PC without capitalising their own bloody name. Really? Mm-hmm. How lazy can you be that you can't even type your name without a capital letter at the beginning? But they don't say Christian name anymore. I guess it's first name. Everything has changed in my life.
Absolutely. Back in the day, there was a joke that you could pass the exam basically just spelling your name correctly. These people wouldn't even do that,
True.
Your name's capitalized, dude. It's a proper noun.
Yep. Well, a lot of rules of grammar are. I'm totally out of touch with education, so I wouldn't know what's being taught and what isn't anymore in schools. But perhaps that's not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's very low priority now.
I mean, everything is done. Most people type on a keyboard and not write on a
yeah, autocorrect and all of that is there for you. Autogrammar. Why do you need to? In fact, AI will do it for you.
Well, yeah, I can't say I'm afraid of AI. I just I don't trust it. I don't like the idea of deep fakes and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not saying that anyone could just sort of do that, but I don't particularly think it's all a good way to go. As or Julian says, modern users haven't even heard of Netiquette. Fair enough. And go for it saying, "Hi, Julian."
It's interesting to talk about AI. There's a couple of channels that I regularly watch, and they're very good. They're both on military history subjects, and one is a modeler. He's an Italian, and he has a very thick accent. So he's employed AI to be his narrative on his video.
Okay, that's all right.
And he offers a wide variety of subjects, and they're all very good. And the thing is with the AI, it doesn't pronounce everything as we do naturally. It's especially on words that aren't part of everyday common English language, like SDKFZ, as I would say, KFZ, as you chaps would say it, Flak Panzer and Panzer Kampfwagen. Those are words that are very, very. You can tell it's a mechanical speech tool being used. So there's still a little bit of it to be developed, but invariably, it all depends on who's going to employ it. I agree with you, John, to a certain extent, but it's also got some very positives.
It does. Certainly positive. We keep on forgetting. Well, I try not to, but yeah, it's obviously, I'm well aware that most people around the world don't have English as their first language, and for those sort of things, I think it could only enrich us all. Like if we all, realize that people in certain countries just want to sit down and make models or whatever interests they have, orchids, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's perfectly fine. They it means that they can play in the same pool, in a sense. So I'm all for that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. There was a Gary, the channel Barbados Rex or Barbados Rex.
Yeah.
He just posted a couple weeks ago about a 30-minute video about his tale of his account being totally hacked. I mean,
absolutely,
fleeced, and he told the story of how he had to get all that back. And he also mentioned that one of the elements of the I guess, for lack of a better word, scam, that there was a artificially created post from the president of YouTube or Google, one of the two, about something, and it was part of what the thieves, criminals, I can't think of a nice word to use for them, used to hack his account. I mean, totally destroyed the guy. I mean, he had to rebuild his financial. They had infiltrated everything on the guy, and it could happen to any one of us at any day.
Happened to my stepson.
Did it really?
Yeah. Joe Blogs, he got hacked.
So Duke's saying the emoji of hands together is not a prayer; it's a high five. Lots of people will say that I'm thinking of you as you have broken your leg. High five.
Oops. I often wondered about that, because you're not the first person to say that, Duke, and I guess that's what it is. It looks like this. It looks like a prayer, and in the way I used to do when I was a kid.
Julian says it annoys me when some companies claim to use AI. No, you don't. They have an expert system. AI learns, expert systems don't. So yeah, that's one of the. I have problems with the F-35 Alice, as they call it, the autonomous, logistics information service. Is good if people use it correctly, but they don't have time for it. So it's meant to learn over time, but I know for a fact we don't have time for it. We don't have enough people. They got rid of a lot of people working on the jets to be able to afford the jets. So they don't have time to put in the details correctly. So it's not autonomous. It's what's the word? The one it actually learns over time. So if you've got 20 different solutions to a problem, you put in which one it was, how long it took you to do, and all that sort of stuff. So over time, the aircrafts around the world will learn. Oh, this has been fixed 40 times. 37 of them have been this fault. So let's streamline the publications. Have this one in there, and yada yada. But under the same breath, I'll just go bloody Lockheed Martin. And I'm so happy that I don't have to play with that anymore.
Yeah, they've been around a long time.
Okay, how's this big sort of? Oh, these decals. The more I'm doing of the decals, the more I'm enjoying them. They're going down with no fault at all.
Excellent. Glad to hear
lovely.
That. I've heard the latest iteration of Eduard decals is almost flawless now. The film that covers it is much thinner, or at least appears that way. I've used them once on the F4F Wildcat that I built.
Yes.
Here, and you can leave that film on there and it doesn't show. The decals are ultra thin. They're strong. They respond well to setting solution. They don't tear. And if you want to, you can pull that stuff off. And I've had mixed success doing that. So I don't. Rule of thumb is for me, I'll just leave it as is going forward.
Yeah, I tried to remove it once and thought there's no point. So I've done a fair couple of Eduard kits, and at no time is any of the decal film evident once you give the aircraft or whatever subject matter, they're only aircraft, an all-over gloss coat. Sorry, matte coat. It just hides it all perfectly well. Yes, same with this. So as you can see there, I don't have any silvering going on, but you can see how shiny the carrier film is in between the F and the M and everything else. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'd have to give this a matte coat anyway. Once I do that, I have no doubt that this will disappear totally, as it does with the Eduard stuff. I also don't subscribe to the thought of. I haven't built that many Tamiya kits, but I've never struggled with their decals. I don't think they're too thick.
Well, interesting you say that. I'm sorry to cut you off, but Spencer Pollard years ago did a brief not video, but an actual demonstration right on the Interesting Modeling Company when he used to be a regular with Jonathan Mock. Anyway, he took an old Academy T-3485 turret, which was way overdone with casting texture. I mean, it looks like an oatmeal cookie. And so he took a Tamiya decal, a good, nice thick one, as we would call it, and he put it down, and he showed that through the right process and the right method, you can make these decals conform and work like any others. So to him, it's not a problem, and it never has been. So I've had both. I've had good experience with them and bad. And the bad meaning that they look like a frickin' decal, but there's apparently a way. Has anyone heard this? Maybe the folks at chat can contribute. You take maybe some Trizac, some 3000 something, and you slowly thin down the edges of the decal once it's set and in place on your model. Oh. Has anyone tried that? I think I saw someone doing that once.
Trizac? I've not. Is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't know? Okay, it's a. You know what? Let me just get a part. Let me get some of it to demonstrate. It's a lot easier if you can see it. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Thank you. No, we try to be global, but don't know certain brand names, but that's okay. Yeah. Speaking of brand names, this segment is sponsored by Arnott's Tim Tams. Double coat, get into it. They're on special this week because they're nearly out of date.
Tim Tam Slam. I must get to the local grocery store. They sell them.
I'll tell you what, that was so annoying. So I'll read this first way. So Julian is saying that's AI. Learning is correct. Expert systems don't. They have a fixed set of rules and questions. Comes back with, and John and Paul, I'm reminded of a training course I went on. PC output was not as expected. Trainer said, well, that's a feature. I said, in programming, call it a bug. We couldn't get rid of a feature. Yeah, that's it. You're right. I mean, yeah. I call me a traditionalist. I'd much rather have somebody at the front of a classroom as a facilitator instead of log on, eyes down and you're looking at the screen, because you could do that at home. Why even be in the room? Okay. Let's zoom in. Oh my God!
I'm just tidying up all the parts, so they're all 3D printed. So look at that! Look at that front end. Oh, so pretty.
Okay. Yeah. So you had there was you had the whole fuselage minus the nose cone with the wings in before, yeah? No, it's a seam. That's what I'm thinking. So that seam
module. It's module.
Yeah, they're just 3D printed parts. So
the I had at the brand. Oh middle, my
God! You get the after what they call the augmenter tubes for the engine and the tailpipe. All sits together. Like
now, Gary, I know CA glue is required for that, but do you use a slower setting or medium gel, or what kind of glue do you work with?
For that, I would be using a high viscosity one that cures in like about 30 seconds to a minute, because I like to be able to.
Yes.
Especially with something round, you've seen it before. You put with two flat faces, like some like nose cone of a missile or something.
Yeah.
You put them on and you look that way and they're perfect. Then you turn them 90 degrees and you see there's a big step. Yeah. So you have to constantly rotate them to get the seam fitted. These are pretty darn close already. I know the fit on these is really impressive, but I would just like that little bit of play.
I agree. Yeah.
Set it, tape it, tweak it, tape it. And then,
that's what I would prefer to do.
Stuff I might even use PVA if it's something I can leave overnight to set, just so that it gives me much more time to work and stuff like that.
With the PVA, do you put that on parts that maybe don't need to have any kind of integrity to the bond? In other words, nothing that's going to be tested by moving or holding?
Absolutely. Photo etch is a great example. I use PVA for all the photo etch I use. Where is it? There's one that Ammo make Ultra Glue.
Oh yes, that's right. That's a relatively new product, right?
Yeah, there's a matte one and a gloss one as well. So there's a matte, so you don't have that glossy blob at the bottom.
Yeah,
it's matted down.
Nice. And
it's water soluble as well, so it's really cool.
Right, which offers you that option to be able to remove it and replace it if need be. Yeah.
You could use them for canopies as well, because it dries.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do. Yeah.
You can use canopy. There's what this one is. Crystal Magic is a one for canopies. It's kind of like a thinner PVA. It dries absolutely.
That's what I've been noticing in the newer generation of some of these white glues meant for securing clear parts. It seems like they've messed with the chemistry. Maybe, I mean, I don't know for sure, but it seems like they're geared for what they're designed to do instead of just your standard Elmer's or Gorilla PVA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one that's the guys from Deckel set. Decal fix, like these micro set. That's it.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The clear, the
crystal clear
PVA they do is actually intended as a replacement for glass parts. So I had a Spitfire 47, Seafire 47, and I lost the camera window behind the pilot.
Okay.
So I just put a blob of that in, and it filled it up, and I left it for a day, and the next day I had a window.
Yes. I've done that for navigation lights on the corners.
Just don't try and mask it afterwards, because it will come off with any masking tape you put in. But other than that, paint it first, then put that in, and it works brilliant. So I've got an Ilyushin 62 airliner to do from Rush Models in Ukraine. Okay. It's the old ICM kit. And it's got holes for the window, so you can put a clear plastic part behind it. But then I'm thinking, if I'm spraying that, I've got to mask out like 100 and something windows on this airliner. I might just spray it and then just put this glue in instead to form the windows.
Yeah, you should be able to do that. You can at least try it out on a couple, see what kind of results you get.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is what we call, it's a 3M product.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And you can see on there it's called Trizact with a T on the end. Now this was something that was brought up by a car modeler. He's a regular on the Interesting Modeling Company now. His name is Ian Hardup. He builds a lot of car models, and he specializes in doing that deep gloss. Well, that's why I don't build car models, because I can't that result. And he does it with an airbrush, not just with rattle cans, but he does it with an airbrush. Long story boring. He was the one who brought this up, and this is it's meant to be in the automotive industry. Actually, it's if this was a full circle, it would be something that you would put on a rotary sander, an orbital.
Yeah,
and it's a very fine level. This is 3,000. They now come in 6,000, and it is ultra. It's like a polishing stick almost. And this is the last step that I take when I'm smoothing out things on whether it's seams or even clear parts, which I now sand and clean up, because I used to think that was the death of them. But now I've learned a new method on how to clean them up. You know, YouTube's your friend. I found a couple people on there that can show how to take a canopy from dirty and scratched and restore it, and it's good as new. Anyway, this stuff, I've seen someone, the gentleman, I forget where it was. I don't know the name. I have to dig it up. But where you're at with your model, John, he would go over the decals on the very edges with this. And somehow, by just gently rubbing on it, it brought down that edge, and it kind of rounded it off where you couldn't see it so clearly. And with thicker decals, let's face it, there are thicker decals out there. That is an issue. Something like what you're dealing with, John, or Cartograph, or whatever. You're not going to have that issue. They're going to be thin and they're going to adhere.
Burma. So what I get to do here is, you see how that flag is straight in relation to the canopy. Right. I get to change it because I have a photo of Bob Stanford Tuck in his aircraft, and it's in line with the bottom of that panel there. So I'll be doing mine slightly crooked. Thank you very much.
Stanford Tuck. That's right. Good old Bob. Yes. If you in the Wayback Machine, Revel
made for Gary. Raffle link is still not working. Yeah, we know that. He'll fix that shortly, Julian.
Thanks, Julian. I will sort something out. It's probably because I tried to do it ahead of time, because I needed the link for Monday Matters, and I think the link changes once it actually goes live, which is really useful.
That makes sense.
So I'll have to do that. But yeah, I will. Thank you, Julian.
Thank you, gentlemen, and everyone else in the chat for actually sticking around, being part of this. I'm really happy that you guys are here. I've been, as I said, only away from the bench for 2 days, but this was at a point where I love decaling because it adds color and life to a model, and I wanted to get this done because I am really enjoying this build as well. So thanks for being part of it.
Decaling is like removing masking tape from parts. You're
not wrong.
You're looking forward to finding out just how good of a job you did.
I'll get to do that later on too.
Where's my typo?
Where's your what?
Masking tape. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's zoom in on you again.
So the lesson today, children, is if you're going to do D-Day stripes on your Eurofighter Typhoon, do it after you've done the camouflage, not before. Because otherwise you'll have to mask off the bit of it very precisely, rather than just squaring it off, painting it white and black. Everything's white under. So now I'm going to do that. Don't do that, children. Please don't do that. But that's my Moggy Typhoon. That'd be in the 2004 D-Day celebration markings.
Yeah. And Mikey is saying, get some time up, Gary. No, he's not actually, but he sort of is. Now, Duke, so you're doing the cluster bombs for the Harrier this week. I've done the green bits. Does it have a grey tail like in the picture? Just bear with me. I'll put this Burma decal in place, and I'll get my kit and show you and my references. Just give me a moment, and your call is important to us.
Exceptionally high volume of calls at the moment. Please be assured your call will be dealt with. You're currently in a queue.
Yes.
Gee, that looks nice. Irma.
Yes. I don't know. I just panicked.
I panicked. Oh, sorry. I'll get off your beautiful mug there, Gary.
Thank you.
Yeah. Here we go.
With my new hoodie.
With a new hoodie.
Oh, nice. I like that.
He pretends to be upper class, but he's really criminal class.
Totally.
Do you have a I don't even know the name of it, like a tailor shop or something like that would make that? I mean, that seems like it would be a very low order of a low quantity of items. I mean, are you selling those?
What's the alleyway behind Savile Row?
I did talk to the seamstress about knocking them up for me, but she said she was too busy. So there's a company that you upload your artwork to.
Okay. I should have known.
Every now and again they say, no, this is a deal. We can do you this, and this for this. And you go, yeah, okay. And said, well, you've already got my artwork. It's already proofed for stitching. So do it. And it was here like in 4 days. So I got a load of t-shirts, a couple of hoodies, and a new jacket. So
nice.
So Duke, the photo I was using for reference is showing there. So that's the I can't remember the name of it now. I think BL755. Well, there you go. Yeah. So I had it was recommending I sent Duke the original instructions as well as I believe for mine. With yours, the ones I sent for you, I included the labels of which decal was which, the decal numbers, and I wrote on the back of the paper for me what they were. But that's the photo I was using for reference. So I had gone for the grey tail on that. This is pretty much how they are, I'd imagine, because this isn't a test one. This looks like the actual physical thing, and we've got it's an LAC checking the crutching mechanisms and everything else. So that's on I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a Tornado.
Probably. The only question I would ask is, as it's in a training round, it has got the pale blue band. Might the tail have been pale blue instead of grey?
So I think this would be.
It may well be grey. I don't know. It may just be the blue that they use these blue.
In the instructions that I sent to him, it has a yellow band for live. Steph knows, but blue. If you find a blue bomb, it means it's an inert or training round. If it has a yellow band, brown band, they mean different things. I was wrong on one of them. Steph would know. Other gunnies here watching this is probably yelling at the screen right now. But brown, I think, is a live rocket motor, and yellow is a live warhead or something.
Yeah, it's live round. Yeah.
So that's what I used in our. Say if you had a standard, say a Snake Eye bomb, a Mark 82 bomb, you can fit a nose and a tail kit to make it a JDAM, for instance, and they don't care what color the round is itself. So the kit itself is separate; it arrives separately, and they put this on in the compound.
I guess
it's the last thing they do before they load it to the aircraft.
You could put a value or a high drag device on it, or a low drag device.
And they call them. Yes, a standard Snake Eye is called a Slick, and the other ones they call them, JDAMs or GBU 16s, whatever they want to call them. So I went for grey on mine. I'll grab it just to show you.
Back in my day, and I'm talking a long time ago now. I'm talking almost 40 years. Christ.
Actually,
the whole £1,000 would be completely blue, nose to
I
tail. That's a
lied.
Ring.
I went for an olive drab.
Okay.
So it's a different green from the rest of the aircraft.
Yeah.
But I tell a lie. But at the end of the day, Duke, let's see, is that in focus? There we go. Paint it how you like.
Yeah.
But I reckon, yeah, I think it's a good choice to get them. I think they look great on that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Really nice, yeah.
Very nice. Beautiful kit. Love it. Hope that answers the question. Do what you want. My GP says, Julian, your call's important to us. Your call at number 17. Exactly how important is this number chuffing 17? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And Duke says, thanks, John. I thought that I'd check. I didn't want to paint it wrong and everyone give me a high five. Well, yeah. But, I mean, you're in Australia. I'd never heard of these things or even seen one. So internet is your friend as much as mine. And, yeah. But I do know for a fact that, say GBUs and all those bombs like that, they come in different kits. The nose and tail, the fusing and the guide vanes and everything else differ it depends on the mission profile.
Be like the sweet shops we used to have back in the day, be like pick and mix in the armories.
Yeah.
Down the bomb dump. I have a handful of those, and then can I have some of those and some of those, please? And I'll have some of those noses. I'm sorry, you got a designated pod with your son? No, well, you can't have those.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, no soup for you.
Unless you got a Buccaneer nearby.
Oh.
Or a Jaguar. Where's my damn Jaguar?
So that's coming up soon. Oh.
Supposed to be
anyone who's watching this channel who hasn't seen it yet, highly recommend a good hour and a half of your time, well spent, would be watching Sprue Talk with Airfix. It's, I think, Women's Modelers Month, or certainly week, or whatever.
It's Women's Month or something.
Yeah, Women's Month. So Tiff was part of this as well. She had an invitation and a write-up in FX magazine. Mm-hmm. Jen Wright, a friend of mine, is interviewed by Dale. Can't remember the other gentleman's name.
Matt Whitey.
Matt, there you go. At Airfix at
yes, I watched that. It was when did they post that? I think it was over the weekend they posted it. Right?
Yeah, it was about 2 days ago. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's just a really, I mean, obviously they know each other well. They've met a number of times. But Jen she's a wonderful modeler and a good. I'm going to call her a good friend of mine because she met Paul and I at Cosford and gave us a look around. And then I found out later on that she had travelled about 100 odd miles or so to come and join us, which was over and above, I think. Yeah. What I had no idea.
I think she lives in the southeast, right?
Yeah. No, she's sort of up in the middle somewhere. So that's her sitting in a Tornado cockpit. But her friend, that's her, and she was showing me a Jaguar chisel nose and how it works. So here's the thing. I don't know if I've shown you this before, Gary.
Okay.
So this is the chisel nose on a Jaguar, from a Jaguar.
Yeah.
So you see the big sort of seam down the middle of goop and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, with prismatic diffusion, looking from the other side, it totally disappears.
Oh, man. Oh, that's good.
Isn't that cool?
That is properly good.
Yeah.
Oh. I'll tell you what, we used to know how to do engineering.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, Julian says, John, I just looked it up and you were spot on with the bomb colours.
There you go.
That's nice to know. Thank you, Julian. Friend of the channel, Julian. Friend of the keyboard. Very good.
Yes.
Peter's back. Go on downstairs and find your painting. Just ain't how wool. Okay, I'm sorry. Just go downstairs and find your painting. Just ain't now wool. Sorry, Dita, you lost me there. I can understand the hey bit.
Probably painting a kit instead of the house.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
So what have we got? We have 15 minutes left. I have time to put on these last. I've got 4 main decals to go. So there are a number of stencils to do, I'll do them off camera. But upper wing, lower wing, roundels.
It's not that funny, dude.
I like adding stencils to aircraft. I mean, I find that, like what I'm doing right now, I find it therapeutic. Wow. And when you look at the finished product, you get, and I would do it a section at a time. I wouldn't subject myself to hours of it. I would do one section, let it dry, set up, let the decals set, and then go on to the next one.
Well, that is what's putting me off doing my Phantom, I must admit.
Oh, well, here's a tale for you. When I was 15 years old, one of my first microscale, my aftermarket decal sheets was for an F4 Navy Phantom. And I love those. Oh, yeah. I love Navy Phantoms, F4Js, F4Bs. Anyway, long story boring. You both know there's a million stencil details on a Phantom. At being young, dumb, and full of enthusiasm, and on summer vacation, I would go work hours into the night, and I put every on a 70-second scale Phantom. There's no substitute for youth, folks. I'm telling you.
No. Yeah. So I do enjoy decal as long as if you don't struggle with them, they're not the ones that break up in the water.
No, I hear you, John. When the process sucks and these things are not behaving right, or you're having tears or folds or something like that. Oh yeah, I'll just stop it right there and as one modeler says, I'll recompose. And it may take a day or so, but I'll get back to it. But I understand, anything you have to do and you're not enjoying it.
Yeah.
How can that be? That's not what modeling's supposed to be.
So Mikey's saying this has been a really enjoyable stream.
Oh, glad. Thank you, Mike.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's just three guys building models. That's I think it's got a niche kind of audience, but nonetheless, it's fun to do. It's great.
Just chewing the fat.
Yep, exactly. There you go. Having a chin wag.
Julie says, Hagrid, I tell Kerry my first call of the day is BC. No, I'm not religious. BC is before copy.
I'm hearing you.
Yeah. I notice that sometimes when I'm joining the I'm sending my initial greetings to Mikey's during one of the mornings of the week. It's either 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. depending on what day he starts up for me. And so I can tell before I've had my coffee, because I'm either not, well, I don't proofread, which I should. Yeah. I'm misspelling all over the place. And I take pride in my spelling. I don't like sending incoherent messages. I take pride in being able to, especially when I'm trying to make a point. But I hate it when I see it. And there are times when I'll retract the message.
Oh, okay.
It's not because it's controversial or naughty or negative. It's just I don't like looking at it. And yet it'll come up in the stream and it'll get posted on screen anyway.
And Duke is quite rightly pointing out that, Mikey, isn't that an enjoyable stream? And then, dribbling into a cup under your chin. Well, actually, it'll be all soaked up by the beard, wouldn't
it? Oh, God. What did Ned Flanders call it? Oh, no, that's his mustache, the old soup strainer.
Yeah.
All right. So there's the ultimate test is how well this decal sits down over these panel lines. But I did. As it turns out, I'd never watched your build of the Armour Hobby Hurricane, Gary. I went back and watched it after you told me that you'd done it. I missed it somehow, but
either of them.
Hang on, what have you done too?
As well.
Oh,
yeah, the 48 is just it's just a dream.
It's a sublime kit, yeah.
It is a beauty.
I just want to take a moment here to echo what you said about Jen Wright. She is an excellent modeler. I am subscribed and watch every post that she puts out. Totally impressed with the work. If you want to go back and see some of the expertise she can do, she within the last couple of years had a commission build on the recent Revel SR71, the 40A scale kit, which for 90 pounds, oh boy, talk about overpriced. Yeah. The work that she did to make it a professional looking scale model, I mean, it almost made me want to quit. The work is so well done. It's so clean. And she has to do a lot of work to it, rescribing detail, adding, replacing parts, and adding more scale appearances. For 90 quid, that model's overpriced. I'm sorry. I think Revell can do a lot better than what they gave.
I'll just give a quick shout out to Aerocraft, the guys who made this kit, because this is 1/48th, right?
Yeah.
They've actually got both the thrust levers.
Yeah.
And not only have they got the thrust levers, but the thrust levers have got the handles, right?
Oh.
Mold already in the cockpit, printed in the cockpit. I don't know if you'll better see them. I'll try. Oh, you can. There you go.
Yes.
Just
I see it. Yes. Yes.
Look at that detail.
Yep.
And also look at the pipe coming out the bottle there.
Yeah.
I don't have to clean that out. That's as it is. These guys.
Well, that's the next frontier of modeling. You're holding it right there.
The golden age, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's astonishing.
Yeah. And at the rate of technology improving, we're going to be able to do that ourselves in our own home sooner or later.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to have that kind of detail and scale it to whatever dimensions you want. I wanted to ask you, Gary, have you built many totally resin kits? I've only worked with two kits.
Two. I built the Martin Baker tank buster that Nick sent me.
Oh.
Which was a Unicraft kit.
Right, I remember. Yes. I remember that
one. Massive 30mm gun on the front or something or other.
It's the Mullins 6-pounder.
6-pounder. That was on what was on Mark IV tanks.
57mm, I think it is. And the other one I built was a Parnell Plover, which was a biplane used by only 24 of them were used by 402 flight of the Royal Air Force, which eventually in 1935 was amalgamated with 404 flight to form 800 Naval Air Squadron, my father's squadron.
Oh, your father's one.
So when they first became Aviation Squadron, 404 flight and 402 had the Flycatcher, ferry Flycatcher, and a small number of Parnell Plovers, and the only kit available of the Plover is from Troji Model Bud in the Czech Republic as a resin kit. So resin biplane, that was interesting to build. Interesting, not being the right word, but you know what? Don't want to get demonetized. It was an absolute nightmare. But
looking Marley, sorry, I'll interrupt. He's saying he's lubed, he's subscribed. Have you? And very quickly, Julian is saying, Jim, I use a smell chucker to avoid embarrassing smelling pistakis. It may be broken. Yeah, fair enough.
But well, the reason I ask, Gary, is because I see resin kits. I mean, now I'm not going to buy one, but Luke Graf is seemingly every time they make a newer model are just breaking through on another boundary of fine detail in resin. Yeah. It's just that the idea of working with something that I don't have the flexibility of correcting mistakes, like you're talking about with the glue you use specifically to give you that wiggle room you need to correct something. It's not only that, it's also handling the material. I guess I'm maybe being a bit too overcautious, but the thought of handling a resin kit like I do a plastic injection kit where I'm sanding and cleaning up all the time, I'd look like I was going into surgery. I'd have a mask, gloves, and I'd have some kind of maybe even work buy a small bake sheet to work over so that the dust falls into that. I'm just so concerned about that stuff breathing because when I work with resin figures, I can smell it on my fingers and I can smell it coming off the figure even after I wash them when I'm cleaning them up and getting them ready for paint. There's some assembly required on certain figures, but that's the biggest hurdle I guess I have to get over.
I think nowadays with these 16K or better printers, the contact point between the support and the part is so small. It's so small. You nip them off, and you can use maybe a scalpel just to get it down a bit, and then just a bit of sort of wet 800 grade paper, and it's done.
Right.
It's not like
it's not like the old Linden days. You're cleaning up the resin blocks, the casting blocks, and all that stuff.
Absolutely. There's lots of them, lots of connector points, but they're all like less than maybe a 0.1 millimeter or something like that. They are so small. You can just sort of cut through them gently with a knife, and then you've got almost no cleanup at all.
Yeah.
But again, it's astonishing. It's the march of technology in these things is phenomenal.
No, I mean, even looking at it through a computer screen, I can see how awesomely detailed that thing is, and that's what I was saying. The sky's the limit now as far as how much detail anyone wants to create in the file that they're building, because that's where you're starting. You're starting with a CAD design.
Yeah. Well, there's a really interesting company in France who will sell you the STL files. It's about 24 files. I think it comes to about $20 US. And it's the print files for a 1/24th Mustang with a complete engine and wing spars and parts.
Holy moly.
It's incredible detail. And you just print it at home, providing you've got a big enough printer.
Right.
It's designed to be printed at home, but it is much more detailed than, say, the Airfix Spitfire in terms of the wing structure you can expose and stuff like that. And they're doing vehicles and 1/24th scale for $20, basically. But then, of course, you've got to buy your own resin and printer.
Yeah.
Printers tend to be £300-400 of that size.
Yeah. Well, the printer itself is a one-time investment. So, you're going to do that anyway if you want to get into 3D printing.
Exactly.
It's the materials that go with it, I suppose, and that would be more of an education for me, because from what I've heard, I mean, I remember asking Phil Flory this question, one time on one of his live shows, because he's got, I think, 3 3D printers now, and I said, well, it's not so much the purchase of the product, it's the maintenance and the upkeep, and he said, it's easy, it's simple. I mean, he went to great pains to demonstrate how easy it is to keep these things clean and running in top condition. Because that's what I always thought. It's like, how do you dispose of this stuff? What kind of environmental regulations are we going to have to conform to? But again, I'm outside the circle of understanding how it works, because we've
got water washable resins now, so you don't have to have the alcohol washing tank. You can run on water now.
All right.
That's a huge difference.
I'll zoom in on this. This is so I'm building offside. I've gone back to it. So this is the just go solo layout for a moment. This is the Trumpeter MiG-23 MF main wheel well. It goes that way around, and obviously that's the engine in the center there, and undercarriage comes down from there. So this is the kit with all the. I bought an Eduard upgrade photo etch kit with it, and this is with all that stuff installed. I just wanted to see how it turned out. Now I'll refocus that. I should do. Is that gonna? There we go.
Yeah,
so you can see. Yeah, there's that oblique part there is a bit of brass, and there's like the step is a bit of brass, and the floor is brass, and all that sort of stuff. It's got these extra bits on it. There's cables on the back wall there that are brass, and you can't really tell. Okay. So you can see there's extra bits on that. So this is what comes in the kit, embellished with Eduard, right?
Yeah.
Apart from that, then I went off and bought. Before I bought the kit, actually, this is the Eduard Brassin upgrade set for it, and the difference between them is phenomenal.
Whoa!
Wow!
Now it hasn't been painted yet, but in the instructions it's like pick off this part, and you got this. It's a hydraulic fuse there, and they're going to be chrome, sort of like metallic finish and all that sort of stuff. And so that's one side, and the other side is like that. And I reckon, so in my opinion, the main wheel well and the undercarriage of a MiG-23 is probably its most interesting feature. And by having those parts, you can see the difference. Like, this is already embellished, but that takes it to the next level, doesn't it? This is before I pick off any parts. I think it's money well spent.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
And this is why I enjoy the hobby, because you can put that together without any sort of extra detail and all that sort of stuff, and you can say, oh, you're not going to see it, it's under the wing, it sits on the desk and all that sort of stuff, but I don't care if I ever see this again or whatever. It's the process that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
So, I love it. This hobby. Of course, you could choose how shallow or how deep you dive. It's totally up to you, and that's I think the best thing about it. Definitely. That's what I really enjoy, anyway.
Yeah, I hear you. The other part of it I like is when you can see the work when it's installed, completed, painted, weathered, the depth added, and you know the difference between the two. We're talking about an aftermarket part installation as opposed like for me with my armor. I tend to go bonkers on tanks. I have to really reel myself in and say, no, you're going to make this kit's going to be like a palate cleanser. You're going to do it, and it's going to move on. And then the next one, you can go nuts on it. Get the old ASM, Advanced Modeling Syndrome. AMS,
you're right. But so for me, this is odd. This is for me a palate cleanser. This Hurricane, and it's not because the kit is so lovely that I haven't had anything to it except I had a seatbelt set sitting around, but everything is in the kit, and it's oh my god, it's really enjoyable. However, the Trumpeter MiG-23 was enjoyable as well, but not wanting to get into politics again, Jim, and I'm very sorry, but I was turned off with certain comments in the media a few weeks ago. I didn't want to build anything. I had to build something that wasn't Russian or American. I'm over that now. It's okay, but I'm doing it again and enjoying that because as is pointed out by Mikey and other friends of the channel, stop being pull up your pantyhose and just enjoy the hobby for what it is and don't think too deeply about it. Because
if I may add on to that, and we'll
please,
keep it as brief as possible. All I can say is that for me, look here, I'm going to turn the camera a bit. And I'll see if you can see that. Can you see? Am I doing it right? No, I'm screwing up. I'm an idiot. Forget it. Forget it. I just need to invest in better equipment. Anyhow, I build a lot of World War II stuff, right? Okay. In fact, it's mostly what I build, and predominantly the armor is from Germany. We know who that is. We don't have to use the words. We don't have to use the name.
No.
And I don't care about the politics of it. I understand it is important to some people, but it's not to me. I check that at the door with modeling. I'm not here to, I'm not here to cram it in someone's face and say, "Look, I'm going to do this to spite you." No, I do it because I like it.
No, you're right. You're right. Totally agree.
Same thing with Russian aircraft, the Cold War era Soviet military aircraft of any kind, whether it's transports or bombers or fighters or whatever. Man, there's some fascinating subjects, some amazing color patterns, and some just crazy looking airplanes, and I love them. And I have since I started building models. It's almost 50 years ago. So I check all that stuff at the door. I wanted to ask you one thing, John, on the Hurricane, the camouflage pattern. Did you use a mask set on that, or did you do that with sausages, or what did you do?
I did use a mask set.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
No. It's rather unique, and I can use the sausages, but if I do anything really, I'm not going to get the finesse of panel lines like that on it.
And correct.
And I think as I said, like it's not that it's not being lazy or whatever. So so there's the schools of thought say you can't enter a model competition if you use say a Quinta Studio set on the interior of a kit, then that's cheating and stuff. It's not. My view is if you love a subject matter that much and you want to spend your money on your kit, you can do what you want and everything else.
Oh yeah,
and that's where I come from. That.
Yes, I agree with you. I mean, the reason I asked is that I've got my Spitfire. Once I do get the masking done, I'm going to glue the clear parts in place, and then it's ready to paint. And I have a decision to make. Now, to me, it did provide a scale drawing of the airplane with the camel pattern on there. Now, if I wanted to, I could scan it. I've got a printer that has a scanner on there, and I could scan it and then create my own mask. I'm considering it because I haven't done that before. But generally, what I do is I freehand. And then I just clean up the lines. I've tried sausages, and I found them to be very labor intensive. And it's like, okay, that's one method, but it seems like it takes so doggone long, and you really can't control the edges as much as at least I couldn't with the way I wanted to. Now I've only tried it a couple times, so I'm sure with anything else you get better with practice, but I'm tempted to do that because a friend of mine who's a real aficionado on British aircraft, I always go to him for questions. He said what happened during the war is that those planes are painted with a very tight but sprayed edge, very tight. And when you see it up close, you can tell. But on a scale model, you can go with a hard edge masking system.
Exactly. Yeah. So generally, and every aircraft company is different and everything else. So these ones were rubber mats cut to shape, and they just plonk it on the wing. So you got the right contours and everything else, but whether it's in exactly the same panel lines on each plane, it's.
I'll tell you what. The more I study this stuff about colors and painting and things like that, the old saying is, "There's a bloody war on." What are you talking about? You get the damn thing painted as best you can. I mean, I've got some photos in a book of this Tiger being painted in what looks like a barn somewhere on the Eastern Front. And the tank crew has the air gun connected up to the compressor on the vehicle, and no, it's not a dust-free environment, mate. There's hay all over the place, and there they are blasting spray guns on their tank. So I don't think they really cared about that. I think they were just following orders from their Feldwebel to get the damn thing painted, and we're moving out in 2 hours.
Well, even in 82 in the South Atlantic, they decided that extra dark sea grey over white probably wasn't the best camouflage for the Sea Harriers, and the white needed to be taken out. On the Invincible, the Illustrious class carriers, they had a paint booth on board. Lovely. So we paid a bit. On HMS Hermes, they didn't. They used paintbrushes. They literally painted over it. So I think Extra Decor or something like that, who does a set for them, one of the sets of roundels, the white of the roundel is very, very slightly paler than the rest of the blue, because they literally just went with the blue over the white with a paintbrush. And that was 1982. So
I've just had a problem. That's just come straight off.
Oh, dude.
Oh, bugger.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Oh, well. You saw it live, folks. So we're at 2 hours and 6 minutes. If you don't mind, I'm going to go for another half hour. Are you? You can leave any time, but are you happy to stick around for a while?
Yeah.
Same here. Yep.
Yeah, I might get a call from Maria to say she's on her way home and needs picking up from the station. But other than that, I'm here.
But getting back to what we were talking about, as far as there's all kinds of talk about, well, how were American naval aircraft? What was how did the airplanes look in service? And from one thing I heard from someone who I guess was a aircraft maintenance personnel on board ship, is that a lot of times what they did is they had fresh batches of the paint, whatever color it was, and they painted over different patches that for cleaning up corrosion, salt air, very, very bad for metal, very bad, even modern day composite material stuff. So
it's worse in composites.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but anyway, the point is that they would go about the airplanes, and wherever they would see rust forming or corrosion of any kind, they would treat it and then cover it up with a fresh color of the same paint, and therefore you've got all these little squares and patches of different appearances of the same color. So to me, the sky's the limit. If you want a dark earth that's made by one paint maker as opposed to another one, and it's different, hallelujah, que sera, sera.
A couple of comments. So Hagrid saying, yes, Paul, I lubed and subscribed to your YouTube channel. Very good. Oh my God, this is so much fun. The part I did follow was indeed enjoyable. So he forgot to switch on his headset, so I said something to me. I totally missed it. Well, that was, I didn't understand your previous post, but that was a while ago now. Julian, Hagrid saying, I do not work BC yet in AD. As I'm an IT guy, we can't operate before coffee and need an Active Directory AD. Fair enough. Lol Hagrid. Ian is saying, great first stream, John. High five. Thank you very much, Ian. And we're into extra time now. As again, I can't thank all you guys enough for tuning in and being part of this. This is not that big a deal, but I am humbled, I must admit, for the first time my channel's gone live, that we've got 11 people watching now, and people have been actively involved for the entire time. It's wonderful and beyond my expectations. And yeah, thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for putting us the link out. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Always humbled to be invited into someone's live stream. That's for sure.
Well, always welcome, Jim. Like, I had missed you. I hadn't actually spoken to you on air, not in comments, for a few months now, and I was missing you and hoped I didn't say anything that upset you, actually. So,
nah, forget it. I mean, we've this is interesting. This is what I was talking about when I was with the Aussies on Saturday or Sunday for both of us about Peter. I'm still shocked at his passing, and I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him a lot because I would regularly tune into both Discovering Thailand and his Odd-Scale Modeling channel. And but he was a likable guy. Now he's thousands of miles on the other side of the world from me. We got to know each other through a computer screen, but you could tell he's the person that was easy to like. He was a good man. He was a good guy. He was a good modeler. He was just an overall, good bloke. And it's people like that you feel you miss the most, because they're just really easygoing people and easy to like.
Out of here, Gary.
So that was Maria. Actually, just literally minutes after I said she's asking for a lift. So thanks very much, John. Really appreciated it, dude.
Well, thanks for being part of it. It's always great to chat,
good
mate.
Seeing you again.
Yeah, good to see you, Jim. Really is. And I'll see you soon, dudes.
Yeah. Uru. Mikey's saying, "Oh, John, you mushy git." Yeah, it's obviously Welsh for something hateful. Duke saying, "I'm at work, John. I have to watch you."
That's right.
You can watch your patients, or the person on the slab, but yeah. Oh, and Dieter is saying, "Bye, mates." Oh, Julian, agree, Jim. It's a community aspect that I like.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, here I am. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm working on my model. I mean, normally that's not something I do early in the day.
Yeah. So my second mistake of the day, apart from that decal coming off the wing, which it's back on, and I hope it'll stay there. I'll give a matte coat over it, but if it does peel off again. I was worried about these ones because there's so much so much rivet work on the wing. If it does peel off, I do have masks that I can spray it if I need to. The other thing you missed is this red wine. It's going down rather well. But what also went down rather well was this cockpit dropped into it. So I had to rush off and grab
a little extra flavor to it.
Yeah, grab my little hand towel and trying to soak up the red stain from it. We'll see how that goes.
Pardon me. Oh my God.
And Julian saying, "No, John, it's not Welsh. You are a mushy kid." So that's say it's 1:15. So I'll go another 15 minutes. We'll knock it on the head there. But it's just if anybody else wants to drop in, anyone in the stream, the link is at the bottom of the screen there. You're more than welcome.
Yeah, come on in. The water's fine.
Yeah. And again, Jim, I've got to admit, like, it's great to have a chat with you. I have missed you. I consider you a good friend.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you. I appreciate that very, very much. It's a pleasure to know everyone in the way we're. I mean, I mentioned this to someone the other day, or was it? I can't remember. Days are starting to fade into each other. It happens when you get old, folks. Trust me. I'm in contact more with people who live around around other parts of the world than I am with the people who I spend a good part of my life seeing on a fairly regular basis. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that's how it is. You grow and you grow apart, and everybody gets, life takes over, and suddenly your friends are living maybe in another part of the country, or they're just so busy or doing things that you once in a while get to say hello to each other, and usually it's via remote communication.
Sorry, a couple more comments. So yeah, Data is saying, totally agree. We are a very tight group, and this shows again how that translates in the most tangible way. We visit one another's streams, participate actively, and enjoy each other's shenanigans.
Yep. Yeah. Well said, Dieter. I agree. Well said.
The bearded veteran creates, whoever that guy is, says, get it another way of calling someone a get, which is polite way of calling someone a bastard, which is funny. I think, maybe the the anesthetic in the jaw is just making you a bit loopy there. And I hope you're in not too much pain, but sufficient pain. Oh, yes, and I did a Marley again by dropping the canopy into the red wine, but, yep. Julian's laughing at Mikey, and oh, yeah. Dita's saying, Julian, Mikey, you three like to be alone? Rooms available. No, Hagrid, there's no spare room, what with me and the model. Oh, fair enough. And numbness is worn off, no pain. Wahoo! Well,
that's
a couple
good.
more stencils here. Just bear with me. I've got a couple of stencils on each side of the oil cooler. There's a radiator as well as the oil cooler. Won't be long. Just eyes down for a full house.
One thing I wonder about these soft skin vehicles like this half track I'm working on. I know that the upper body or hull, I don't know if the same terms apply to a half track as they do a tank, but I wonder if the material used, is it sheet metal, or was it cast, or was it heavy steel that they built these things with? I don't know, because the reason I ask is because I usually texture the surface of armor vehicles with Mr. Surfacer 500. Give it that rough look, Even rolled steel had a texture to it. Never mind cast texturing like turrets and mantlets and things like that. So I was wondering if I should do it on this one or let it go. There's so much nice detail on here that I'd have to carefully go around all of it if I am going to use that stuff. I mean, Capcom, say what you will about their instructions or their assembly sequences, which can be a little dodgy. They make some damn good models.
I've only done the one of theirs, which is a Mark IV British tank. And it's still not finished yet. I've lost my D-rings. I finally found some chain for the unditching beam, but I put the D-rings aside so I don't lose them. And of course, I put them in a blokey place. Can't find them.
Oh, okay. Bugger. All right. That stinks.
Oh, Hagrid saying, oops, someone spilled their guts inside the cockpit, John. Haha. Yeah, a bit of claret and stuff. But no, it should be fine. In fact, yeah. Oh, God, where did I put it? Yeah. I haven't lost. Oh, there it is. It's under the model. Idiot. So, yeah, it's the back of the canopy. While we're here, let's take off. Oh, numbness has worn off, has he? Oh, numbness, gotcha. I'm going to zoom in on me just for a mo, and let's do a demasking of the canopy because I can. So this is a mask set that comes with the kit. I didn't enjoy it. It has everything you need. Oh, I can't see it right now. Oh, it'll be in the box. But it has masks for the wheels and tires, as well as the cockpit. The only struggle I found was actually removing them from the backing sheet. The edges weren't sliced as well as, say, an Eduard or any other mask set I've used. The bits and pieces. I needed to go around the edges with a new blade to separate them. but that's coming okay. There's a bit there that I need to. That'll come off with a toothpick. No, but that's worked. So once I repaint the, yeah, a little bit of cleaning up, but that's good enough. Oh, it's in there. And the other part is the main canopy. It comes with 2 canopies, one oversize for open, and you can slide it back, and the other side is for a closed canopy. I was umming and ahhing about which one to do, because with a closed canopy on a Hurricane, it looks like a Hurricane, if that makes sense. But I wanted to have this one further back, just because it's got such lovely detail inside. But I wanted to be able to see that.
I agree. I do it open. Are you going to put a pilot in there or not?
No, I don't think I will.
Then have it open, of course. Sure. That's what I would do.
The other thing, it gives you a choice of having, so you can't really see, but under that bit there, that part of the F, is a handle, grab handle that opens up. So if you push that in, actually, there's got under here, you got a stirrup that comes down.
Right. Yes.
Foot.
Yes.
And if you pull that down, then this part of the airframe pops in to make it a handhold. And once you're in the cockpit, you just release a little cable and it'll pull the stirrup up and close that panel there. But I chose not to have them extended either, just so I can have it just a clean build, if you like. But so these masks have worked. There's a slight bit of cleaning up to do with a toothpick, but they'll come off fine. So that's worthwhile. This is the, what do they call it? I don't think this one is. No, some of the Armour Hobby kits have, I think they call it an expert kit. This one doesn't have it. So I think all the Hurricanes in 48 scale come with masks. And it's worked. They're straight and they're square, so it'd be easy enough to just mask it myself. But this did work. So let's see. Let's put that on there. And yeah, not glued in place, not the right color, not the gun sight in place. But you get the idea that it's looking. Oh yeah, it's looking all right, eh?
Coming together very well. That looks great.
Get it.
You know, I'm not sure whether I want to do this or not, but I was considering undercoating. Once the primer is applied to the Spitfire, to undercoat it with some Tamiya lacquer, like aluminum or silver of some kind in certain areas, and then put some chipping fluid, and then paint the model, and then have that chipped look around the cockpit, around the walkways, around the the access panels of the machine guns. But it's not quite as it's not easy to control. I don't know. Have you tried chipping fluid? I have, and I've had mixed results with it.
I have. It doesn't work so well. I've got the Vallejo stuff that doesn't work very well with the Vallejo. I think most people that have used it, the Vallejo paints can be rubber-like. So if you take off a bit, you'll take off a lot. What I find is with SMS paint and probably MRP, which I've not used, being a lacquer paint, that once they're down, they're very hard to remove. I think I've used it with Mr. Hobby, Mr. Color, very well. But I can use, like, I painted silver on an aircraft, a P-40 that I did a few months ago, and then I used just a sanding stick and took that down back to, that's quite controllable, took it back down to the aluminium, and that worked out well. Oh, it wasn't aluminium. Actually, no, I had aluminium, then I had primer. Can't remember the name of it. No, gone. The yellow primer, and then I had the olive drab over that and took that down, and that worked really well. So it depends on the type of paint. I found although it's acrylic, well, Mr. Hobby, you've got 2 different types. One, Mr. Hobby and Mr. Color are different.
Right,
Chipping on those, I find really controllable. Other brands, not so much.
Well, with lacquers, you've got a very short window to work with, from what I've been told. I prefer to work with either Tamiya acrylic, they're not their lacquer brand, but the hybrid acrylic, or a water-based paint. But with water-based acrylics, you really have to be careful about how much chipping fluid you put underneath, because it can take huge chunks off and totally ruin the effect.
Yeah.
But yes, Vallejo, I found out, who was it? Someone, I think it was Phil Floria. It dries internally from without. In other words, it has to, lacquers dry from the surface in. Vallejo dries from the inside out, and that's why you get that rubbery feel to it. And it takes about 24 hours to cure, which most paints do. Enamels, lacquers, same thing. You really want it to cure, give it 24 hours. But anyhow, that's what it is. And I see what you mean. With that kind of paint, once it's set, acrylic is very, very tough. It doesn't want to move, even if there's chipping fluid underneath. And that's why I've experienced, like with a tank, I did it my first time trying it. It took off enormous pieces of the surface paint and revealed the base paint underneath, which I didn't want that effect. I wanted it a little bit more subtle. So I had to literally go back and, do some real up close touching up and restore all that. And I find it hard to control. I've even tried masking fluid, where you put little dapples of it with a toothpick, and then you go to peel it off afterwards. But I've also had mixed results with that. I tried that on a model recently, and I had huge chunks of paint pull up. And this is like when I'm almost done with the model. It's like, shit, no, what happened? Oh my God. I had to go back and try and figure it out and touch it up. So I don't know. I may try it, but I kind of want to get the model done. So I may just forego that and move on and try it on another kit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Mikey has challenged me. Put that list.
He has. So Mikey has challenged
an abandoned rusted vehicle vignette. Okay, all right. It is a challenge, because I'll tell you why. I don't really have that whole rusted kind of patina thing down, like when I watch guys like Mike Rinaldi and other modelers who have a process that works, and they go from light to dark. They go with a light rust, and then they work their way up to dark, and it's all layered like it really looks. And I look at that and I'm like, how do you do it? So well, that's a very good challenge, Mikey, and I accept it, and I'll do my best.
Well, if you choose, say, a Cybertruck, you won't be able to rust it, so you could use that. You never know.
No, I'll take something like an old Hulk of some kind, and like you see on the Golan Heights or somewhere else, these relics have been sitting for literally decades.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, sudden yawn. Okay.
Yeah, it's getting on it. What time is it there in Australia for you?
Yeah, it's late. It's 1:30 in the morning.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm about to skulk off. I think it's been great having you hanging around, Jim. It's a great conversation. Thanks for catching up.
Oh, well, it's all my pleasure, and thank you again for inviting me in, and thanks everyone for tuning in. All of a sudden, the chat just grew in numbers, and all the familiar names, the usual suspects.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and the better-looking Marley was hanging around. Being in Perth, he's like 3 hours behind, so it's fairly decent time for him over there. But well played. Thanks for watching. And yeah, that's good. Oh, and Pitts Kids is thanks all. Really enjoyed the stream. Thank you. That means a lot, I must say.
Yeah,
this is just friends yakking, and you're all. It's almost like so. When I found the On the Bench podcast years ago, what I was saying to Dave is like it's like a mate sitting in a booth in a pub, just yakking over whether it be a plate of chips and a beer and all that sort of stuff about what's going on, what's on the bench, and it's very much like that.
Yeah, it is. I've got to visit that OTB. I haven't tuned into any of their podcasts yet, but I hear they're very good. So I'll have to do that. Because I like putting that stuff on the screen, on my TV, and then I'm over here about 3 feet away on the left, and I'm working away at a model, and it's like what we're doing now. I mean, this is nice, and part of the reason I'm enjoying it so much is because I'm working on my own kit while we're talking.
Yeah.
If I was just
as you've seen, I've done quite a bit of progress while we've been talking. It's looking complete. All it's missing now is the stencils. And then start sort of dirtying it up and add a bit of weathering. I've got the spinners done, the props done, the wheels are done, undercarriage done. It's all ready to go together. But what I wanted to achieve is pretty much been achieved. So really happy with that, and had a good chat doing it. So thanks all for joining. Matthew saying thanks, all makes Monday Arvo a better place. Yeah. So again, for your first real live stream, it's been very, very cool.
Yeah. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Having Gary along made it even more enjoyable. The banter, the chit chat, the exchange of experiences, ideas, information. That's what it's all about, man.
That's what it's all about.
That's what has improved my love for this hobby. For the longest time, I was doing this, and there was, okay, fine. How many people are going to see my models? Well, maybe a few if I share some photos. But this is before the technology boom. We now can do literally at our fingertips. Carry these things. We can reach anyone in the world. So anyhow, that is what is for me revived my love for the hobby, is the internet experience.
Social aspect. I was explaining to Paul when we were traveling around the UK, it's just like, why do you do this? Like, I don't understand why you're doing Discord and all that sort of stuff. And I said, well, it makes it a very sort of personal hobby, a very community-focused hobby. Like, chatting about what's going on while you're doing it and stuff like that. Like, ideas, like this, yeah, that looks great. Yeah. It's just, it's very beneficial. I really enjoy it.
Yes, it's good for the soul, good for the heart, the mind, everything. Yeah. It's like a good healthy exercise program. You feel so much better afterwards. And a big thing like the 48-48, that's like a rush of it on steroids. It's like around the clock. You're sharing your love for this with other people, and it's wonderful.
You're right.
So good for you, mate. It's quite the success on your live. Is this your first one?
It is
on this channel.
Yeah. Also, I did one. The first upload I ever did on YouTube, I hit the wrong button and went live, and you tuned in to that, and I wasn't.
Oh yes, I remember that. That was
months ago now.
Wasn't that your final review of that Dornair 17?
It was very good memory. Yeah.
Yes.
And you were just saying, "Oh, hello, John. How are you?" I'm just like, "Oh, I can't really acknowledge you because I'm just talking, and stuff." So, yeah, you're right. That's what that was. But so this is the first actual live stream. Both Gary and Mikey were unavailable, and I wanted to do bench time, and I thought, you know what? Why not? I've got a channel. I might as well.
And I thank you, because I'm telling you, I was missing it. Because I knew there wasn't going to be a chat today because of what Mikey, had to do. And I was like, okay, and I was like, man, nothing. And then I heard, like about 5 o'clock this morning, my time, well, John's supposed to go live, and I saw the link posted in Discord. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll wait because I'm subscribed to your channel, so any notification would come up on my YouTube. So, and sure enough, it did. And I was like, okay, I turned my TV on and I just left it, and then all of a sudden, boom, you appear, and I'm like, hurrah, got a live chat. So yeah, I was jonesing a little bit, to tell you the truth.
So Ian's saying thanks, John, Paul, Ringo. Hang on, no, Gary and Jim. Well played, sir. Well played.
We had fun.
Thanks everyone for joining in. This has been very enjoyable for the start of a week. I think we've done very well.
Oh, I think it was awesome. I mean, we even went an extra half hour over. So.
Oh yeah, I was decaling. I didn't want to stop. Yeah. But so tomorrow, Mikey, Tiff, and I should be back for the Beardy's Funnies. I'll be doing the ball tank, getting the two hemispheres together to make it actually look like a ball. So there's going to be progress.
I'm interested to follow that because I want to see how you're going to scruff it up to look like a rugby ball.
I've got no idea.
I mean,
no idea at all.
Cricket ball. Pardon me.
Cricket ball. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I hardly know sport, so they could be the same thing. I don't know. But no, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you. And I'll see you guys. I don't know. Like I haven't scheduled a time where I'm going to be doing these or whatever. This is at the moment a one-off. But based on the interaction, I should do this more often. But yeah.
I'm all for it, John.
Good to have friends around the world. Thank you.
Yeah, you post a link, and maybe if it's right, the time's right, and it works out for Paul, he could join in. Whatever. We'll see what the future brings. So.
All right. Cheers, Jim. Cheers to everyone in chat.
Yep. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.